advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You're listening to Joey Clark. Joey Clark. It's Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show, and Montgomery needs a new mayor. In the studio with me, we have the one, the only, Mr. Troy Carrico. Looking sharp today, Jim.
Thank you. My wife usually dresses me, and when I wear what she tells me to, I get compliments typically.
Yeah, I'm liking what she's got good taste. Well, I knew that about Robin.
She does, except for me, right?
Yeah. Except for you, right. Well, you're bunching way above your weight. You outkicked your... What's all the things the fella said?
Out kicking the coverage. Yeah. No, Scott,
All
actually,
these
it's
things.
amazing because you know our story, how we met and growing up on the same road. It's God. This is why I tell you, Joey, God's timing is perfect, and you will be part of it.
Yeah, well, you're right. But sometimes I wonder, like, to quote Augustine, like, save me, God, but not yet. Not yet.
I'm okay right now.
Deliver me from this, but not yet. I'm not sure if I want to jump right into this just yet. But, hey, let's start with something that it is the New York Times, but I thought it'd be, like, right up your alley. Because the headline is, a 14th century skeleton had injuries that looked like a car crash. What killed it?
It's like 200 and some bones, right? Crushed or something.
And like the skull, I'm looking at this 3D model of the skull that's spinning, and it is just shattered, and the scalp is just shattered in multiple spots. Like it was massive impact. This is I'm looking at a CT reconstruction of this skull. It's known as Skeleton 150. Remains found in Stirling Castle in Scotland. Broken in 61 places.
Okay, so 61. I knew it was a lot. Yeah, yeah.
So today, Stirling Castle is a tourist destination nestled in the quiet hills of Scotland. But in 1304, it was a war zone. That's when, after years of off and on fighting, the English captured the castle during a violent siege. Now, new research suggests that one of the shattered skeletons from this battle might be the first confirmed victim of the terrifying war catapult known as the Trebuchet.
Trebuchet. Say it again.
Trebuchet.
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 I feel like we should just say trebuchet.
I reflinch today. Trebuchet.
À la française, trebuchet.
I wish somebody hit Candace Owens with Trebuchet. Did you hear that crazy bat crap woman said literally "we are legion" the other day? Like she's quoting a demon.
She's demon. We know that.
Anyway, I don't need to get off into that. It'll just make me cranky. But the extensive injuries to this smashed skeleton, called Skeleton 150 by archaeologists, original, suggested to researchers that the bones were most likely broken by the high speed and high force impact of a how do you say it again? Trebuchet.
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 Like Bobby Boucher?
Like Bobby Boucher.
Trebuchet.
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 You got to roll the R. Roll. Trebuchet.
Yeah, I can't do French. I
You
mean,
do Latin? You do Latin?
yeah, but and I can do my Melania Trump. She's my favorite to do. And people think I'm exaggerating. I'll find a clip of her giving help to the foster kids. But yeah, so first trebuchet projectile. The finding was presented at the 25th meeting of the Paleopathology Association.
That had to be like a momentous occasion, was it? So like, my God.
Oh, a lot of marriages have been broken up over that.
I'm sure,
that dinner.
I'm sure.
That weekend, people get wild at the Paleopathology Association meetup. They get wild.
One honey mead, please. One honey mead.
I was piecing all these things together and asking, well, what happens in medieval Stirling that could explain this? Dr. Joe Buckberry, a biological anthropologist at the University of Bradford in Bradford, England, who presented the findings. The obvious answer is the use of the
trebuchet.
While the answer may seem obvious to researchers now, decades passed between the discovery of Skeleton 150 and the determination of its cause of death. Skeleton was excavated all the way back in 1997.
They haven't known what to do with him.
Yeah, they're like 60-something places. What is this? It was when the Historic Environment Scotland, the country's conservator of heritage sites, was refurbishing the palace. Skeleton 150, alongside several others, was found under the floor of the castle's royal chapel. Wow.
Wow.
This burial place was unusual and suggested those conducting the funerals were unable to access typical burial places outside the castle walls. Wow.
Siege. They were under siege. Trebuchet was used under siege.
This indicated to the researchers that the bones might date to the 1304 battle, after which the English took control of Stirling. And medieval battles, man. In some ways, like, they end comically, or they just end because one guy got mad and let everybody else in. But it's a lot of siege warfare, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like, so it could be months,
They would
weeks, and
fling.
months.
They would fling like corpse-infected bodies over the thing. you know.
Nasty.
Hot oil down the walls.
Nasty stuff.
It is brutal.
And also, like, the intimacy of having to run somebody through with a sword.
Coffee breath close.
Yeah, that's a different level right there of warfare. But using X-rays and microscopy, Dr. Buckberry and her colleague, Dr. Patrick Randolph Quinney, a biological anthropologist at another university in Sweden, discovered the skeleton had complex zigzag pattern fractures, unlike anything they'd ever seen in medieval skeletal remains. The injuries were similar to those seen in modern victims injured in car accidents. So essentially, a projectile thrown by a
Trebuchet.
is like being hit by an SUV in the face.
It's I think the typical size they said of one of the projectiles was anywhere from 700 to 1,000 pounds, and then the force it's released is coming out at about 250 feet per second. That would really demolish you.
I mean,
Joey.
of all the crazy ways, especially like the torturous ways people were killed back then, all the very creative ways people were killed back then. That's probably a quick way to go.
He may have got up on top of the guard tower and goes, "You smell like a hamster, and your mother smells of Edelberry." In your general direction, Englishman.
I love Monty Python.
God,
and
it's so
Holy
good,
Grail.
isn't it?
It is.
The Holy Grail is one of the greatest.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while though. Before I start quoting it again,
How about The Life of Brian? You like The Life of Brian?
it's been a while since
Look
I watched
on the bright
that
side
too.
of life, fellas.
272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation. What is your favorite color?
He goes, deploy the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Count to thrice, not twice, not four, not seven.
5 is right out.
Five.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, we're
Oh,
done.
you're
with
gonna get me down that rabbit
done.
hole.
It's
In
fun,
fact, you're just gonna make me. And for some reason, by the way, our stream it's distracting me. The cameras are flickering on and off.
I see
don't
that
know.
something went wrong.
I don't know why that's happening. So while I'm wondering why that's happening, because I haven't had this problem at all.
Until I come in.
Yeah, I don't know. How many Wi-Fi devices you got on?
I have none. Everything's turned off.
Wow. So I was trying to trouble.
Except this one. I can turn it off.
Yeah.
Let me turn it off here. Yeah.
But,
I have my phone is completely off. Now the computer Wi-Fi is off.
But here, just for let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this? Say that again. Hey, Clint, how you doing? Am I having a stroke, or is this just a bad connection?
No, we're being jammed.
Call me back, Clint. Call me back. Yeah, okay, so the phones aren't working well.
There's
The
something going
internet's all of a sudden gone down. I've lost your feed, by the
Yeah,
way.
I see that.
What in the world is happening right now? I don't know. Anyway,
We're being
I guess
jammed.
we're not supposed to talk about, how do you say it?
Trebuchet.
Okay.
The French are upset.
Let's try one. Let's try line 2 then. You're on there, is us? Hello? What in the world?
We're being challenged technologically.
We are. It was a huge, huge trauma and thankfully instantaneous death. Yeah, you could have guessed that. Being smashed by, huge projectile.
Is that an honor to be the first killed, or is it just like they look at him and go, "Oh my God, oh my God"?
Yeah, I think everybody's going to remember it.
It's going to leave a mark.
Yeah, until firearms were popularized in Europe in the decades after the 1304 siege at Stirling Castle, trebuchets were one of the main weapons of war. Soldiers inserted a projectile, often a boulder, into a large sling on a pivoting arm, then dropped a heavy counterweight that propelled it towards its target at extremely high speeds. The weapons were primarily built to break down fortified walls, but their damage was indiscriminate, said Michael Fulton, a historian and archaeologist at Western University in Canada, Ontario. We have lots of historical records or anecdotes of casualties of this kind of nature, of stones being tossed over a wall, inside or outside, and in some unfortunate person just getting smooshed. That's one term for it. He was smushed.
Pancake. Yeah.
I guess they've finally figured out that this guy died from a big old boulder being
150 was
dropped
number
on him.
one, actually. It was the first.
Let's try the phones again. Here on there is us. Yeah, it's still breaking up, man.
It's probably us.
Yeah, I'm only getting it every not even a word out of him. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on today with the technology, but we can just power through and just do a radio show.
Maybe I should turn off that for me to destroy that car. Okay, no,
gracious.
No.
Like, it's all just not working. How about this? Let me jump out of this side of it and
yeah, but the
maybe that'll
trebuchet,
reset
while you're doing
everything.
that, the trebuchet is interesting because it represented one of those paradigm shifts that we talk about, like drone technology, like tanks, and it was a major thing. And if you can take a projectile that weighs 750 pounds, Joey, and throw it at 250 feet per second, that wouldn't be good, dude. Wouldn't be good.
Well, and also, I'd imagine, like, they got firearms, but the firearms were still not as high quality as, say, like a bow and arrow.
Right. They were.
I'm sure the bow and arrow was, like, deadlier from farther away for a long, long time.
Mass firing, they would mass fire, but the firearm only became really effective in siege combat when the cannons artillery started becoming very prominent. So.
And the early ones would be stuff like a blunderbuss and, like, kind of
blunderbuss.
these short range, just like,
they're like
come around a corner
shotguns,
right into somebody's face.
Like a
or
shotgun, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. But though that thing, I'd imagine it kicked. Those old weapons probably kicked like a mule.
They had something else called a basilic, which is a huge crossbow that took about 10 guys to pull the cord back, and it fired a log-sized arrow with a pointed end, and it would bust through the brick too. So,
gum. There's so many different ways you can
Greek
kill
fire?
human beings.
What about Greek fire?
I've heard about that. Isn't it like kind of like napalm?
Yeah.
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 Oh my God.
That crafty old. Who was it? Aristotle? No, it wasn't Aristotle. It was. Oh man, who was it? From this day forward, he's never wrong.
Archimedes?
Archimedes. It was Archimedes, I think, that had a hand in that.
Oh, yeah, and Archimedes came up with all sorts of siege engines where the Romans tried to, take them down and like just straight up siege or breach the walls, and they thought he was a god. They thought they were fighting gods because they had never seen, like, all these different pulley systems and countermeasures before. And again, I think that was the siege of Syracuse. And that siege ends when, again, classic story, somebody opens the door from inside.
Yep.
And I believe Archimedes didn't even realize that some idiot had let people in.
Yep.
He was at his table doing some mathematics work. A soldier came in. He was so enthralled, like, with his work. A soldier came in and shook him, and he turned around and goes, "Don't mess with my circles." I think that's the exact quote. And then the soldier cut his throat.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I think the top general said, "Do not kill Archimedes. We want Archimedes."
Yeah.
Like, he's amazing. This is the guy that's having this
Block and
godlike
tackle,
power.
man. I mean, the Persian king said, "From this day forward, Archimedes is never wrong."
But because this soldier startled me, he goes, "Don't mess with my circles." He just cut his throat right there.
Postulate.
Yeah, I think that guy ended up crucified, probably.
Yeah,
You killed Archimedes. The one thing he told you not to. What if he told you not to mess with the circles? Certainly don't kill him.
But I got all this intelligence valued, sir. We don't know what that is. We can't read that.
Let's try the phone again. Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
Audio check.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
I figured I would call and see if it was going to be your technical difficulties are going on or somebody else was calling on a speakerphone and it was just cutting up and acting ugly.
Well, I think Clint was just out in the boondocks, baby.
Maybe.
Yeah, that might have been too, because sometimes I'm out in the boondocks when I try to talk with y'all, and it just acts all kinds of cranky and stupid, don't it? Well, I shouldn't say cranky. We got a caller named Cranky, don't we?
Yeah, I've heard from him in a second. Well,
ooh, they're stopping in front of me.
Okay, well, you be careful.
That's in this conversation y'all got going on. Hey, Troy.
Yes, sir.
What he was calling that scatter bomb, wasn't it built up of a ball with a huge fuse built in it, and they would drop a keg down in the cannon and shove it down and then push the ball down
Yes.
with the fuse down so it would be lit, and when the keg went off,
Yes.
it would light the fuse.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous maneuver that actually spiked a lot of guns, but if they pulled it off, it was extremely devastating. Yeah.
Yeah, it would bust barrels left and right,
sure would.
backfire, and run people over with the cannon.
I'll tell you what.
Back to the FM, fellas. Okay, go ahead.
No, I just want to say this, Joey. There's a place up in the Shenandoah Valley, and for anyone of your listeners that have never been to the Shenandoah, go up there in the fall. It's God's country. It's so beautiful. But anyways, it's a place called New Market, Battle of New Market. It's where the VMI cadets marched overnight to help augment the Confederate forces. It was the last victory that the South won in 1864 in the valley, in the Shenandoah Valley, Joey. And the order of battle is laid out in a small courtyard area. Mm-hmm. If I tell you, Joey, it's from here to where the water cooler is over there, to where the back door is over here, to where your car's parked out here. It's just a kill box of ass-kicking violence in the middle, and you can't see the smoke so thick because it's not smokeless powder. It just could you?
I can't.
Robin sat there. She goes, Is that how close the Florida unit was to the Indiana unit?" I go, "Yeah, it's how close."
It's insane.
It's just amazing.
Well, not only that, Troy, but with that battle, wasn't that smoke so dense that there was people who was killing their own fellows?
Yeah, fratricide was very real. The idea of fratricide, friendly fire is not friendly. And, it happened quite often. Yeah.
And I'm going to go back a little bit further in history. Our Revolution War. Mm-hmm. I forget the field in Jersey where it was fought.
Trenton.
But our guys was wanting to change uniforms. It was summer. And whoever the general was, or whoever the leading man was over that particular unit, would not let them wear a lighter uniform, and there was more men that was killed from heat strokes on both sides than would by sword.
That was part of the Battle of Trenton. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. That was a terrible story. Yeah.
Yes, it was. All right, guys. I'm back to the FM.
Thanks for the
Later.
audio check.
See you, buddy.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. How about this? Let's hit a break, and then we'll try to reset things, get your camera back. More after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
From weddings and concerts to cookouts and construction sites, TT Porta Toilets has been serving Central Alabama for over 30 years. Whether you need standard portable toilets with wash stations or upscale restroom trailers for special events, the Tierce family has the right solution for every occasion. So when you're planning your next big event or project, make it easy on yourself. Call 285-5513 or visit ttportatoilet.com. TT Porta Toilets. Clean, convenient, dependable.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened higher this morning, but for the week, all three of the market's major indexes may rack up losses. It would be the first time that has happened in a month. The market remains on edge over the situation in the Middle East. There's also concern over consumer spending, which is a major contributor to the health of the U.S. economy. Although it is still elevated, the cost of borrowing for a home is edged a bit lower. Freddie Mac says the average for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 6.65% this week. It is the second straight weekly decline. Even so, the average rate remains elevated compared to a year ago when it was 6.58%. This year's rising mortgage rates have limited would-be buyers' purchasing power, delaying home buying decisions, resulting in a sluggish market for home sales. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber, now open from 6 to 5. For tough, good-looking roofs, it's Tamco Shingles from Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For great folks and great prices, call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hang on, we are going to start to see some improvement in the humidity over the weekend. But today, still a tough one with a heat index of 105 to 110, actual high temperature up to about 96. And there will be a more generous supply of storms on the radar today. More storms to go around. Locally heavy downpours in spots, and some storms strong, possibly severe. Our low temperature tonight down to about 73. Then gradual improvement over the weekend. The humidity levels becoming more tolerable. Gradually, you will feel a difference. High temperature still in the middle 90s, but we'll drop the rain chances for Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Live local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, Troy Carrico here in the studio on this Friday. And because it's Friday, you can call about whatever you like, if you want to call at all. 334-272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. I'm looking at an exclusive from Reuters.
Reuters.
If that's how you say it.
It is.
More than 150 wallets on Polymarket International.
Yeah.
May have traded on inside U.S. military information, attracting copycat bets and raising concerns that the market could broadcast signals exploitable by foreign adversaries.
Yep.
This is according to research published yesterday on Thursday. The analysis by the nonprofit research group Anti-Corruption Data Collective sheds new light on likely military insider trading on the prediction market and the broader risks such activity may pose. Comes as policymakers increase scrutiny of the booming industry following bets ahead of U.S. military actions, including that of a U.S. soldier charged in April with using classified information to bet on the removal in January of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. We covered that story.
We did.
Spokespeople for Polymarket, which was founded in 2020, did not respond to requests for comment. Polymarket says it has strict controls, closely monitors for suspicious activity, and has referred dozens of trader wallets to the authorities.
Yep.
Polymarket International platform settles trades on a blockchain, meaning wagers are public, although traders remain anonymous. ACDC Analyze, that's the name, by the way, the acronym of this nonprofit, ACDC. Pretty good. ACDC analyzed all settled markets through May 5th to identify long shot bets, which it defines as wagers of at least $2,500 placed cumulatively in an hour or less on an outcome with odds of 35% or less. Interesting parameters, but we'll go with it. Within that universe, ACDC found 556 wallets it dubbed orcas, a nod to the killer whale's precise and selective hunting tactics. Mm-hmm. These traders typically opened an account and quickly placed a highly successful long shot bet in niche markets where insiders may have informational edge before, in many cases, cashing out and disappearing. Of those, there were 152 exceptionally successful wallets that bet on military and defense markets, making $8 million collectively with an average win rate of 97.2%. Yeah, so
it's easy to know when you know what's going to happen, right?
orca traits may have other explanations, including pure luck, ACDC said. Likewise, not all potential insiders are orcas. Gannon Ken Van Dyke, the soldier who prosecutors said made $400,000 betting Maduro's ouster, built his position more slowly and is therefore not among the 152 military orcas identified. Still, those wallets are the most likely to be trading on military secrets, according to the report. Now, that's kind of chump change, though, ain't it?
It is, but, man, it opens so much. I could only imagine being a CI guy right now in the investigations. And I think what happened is that was just a small portion of the iceberg, so to speak. And now they're getting in there and they're finding a lot of that going on. So,
and I mean, how much are we talking about? It's like people with truly classified inside information that they could bet with.
Yeah.
How much do they make in a year, like career-wise?
Oh gosh, most of them are going to be mid-level NCOs, the analysts that are handling the reports and putting them together. E7's probably making about $60,000 a year, maybe.
Oh,
but
well, so it's right.
They get their BAH. So I mean, let me put it this way: they're not making more than $75,000. Most of them are. Some of them are closer to $50,000, $60,000 because they're E4s, E5s.
See, that's not a lot of money. And because that's not a lot of money, and you got this inside info, and you're greedy, and maybe you don't like your boss, there's all sorts of reasons you can sour on the job, despite, say, the incredible, oath that you took.
So let me tell you something about the intel community. Yeah. Even in the military, you've got some really bright people, very bright people. Yeah. But some of them they're socially awkward, or they may have, like you said, ideological.
You don't have to talk about the Air Force that way.
The Navy too, right? Yeah. No, I like the Air Force or the Army Air Corps. Everything's fine. Just keep bombing. But the thing is, Joey, I could see how this new wave of this nouveau generation coming up and the gaming and all of that, and then getting into the intel community. First of all, it's a toxic environment. Every building you work in has no windows. It's very locked down. It's a very kind of it's a magnifier for negativity. A lot of times, people got bad attitudes, and I could see someone going, all I need is one big hit, and I'm done.
Yeah, and
like selling drugs.
And real quick, just to take your temperature, we could get into more detail if you want later, but we got plenty of time here. What do you make of where we're at with this war, especially with the latest being reported they had like some secured lanes to at least to get to half of the capacity of oil moving through the strait?
Over 12 million barrels were moved yesterday, 12 to 15 ships now. What's happened was the clearing of the mine route through that area that they needed has been done 2 months ahead of time due to a really cool set of drones that go under the water and map everything and then send it back up and then send down another drone. They did a great job. And so here's what I think. Very soon, Iran's ability, Joey, to hold us hostage is going to be mitigated as they build the pipeline out through Saudi Arabia and all that. I think what we're doing right now is just anaconda. We're stretching on. We're just continuing to stretch. And I say this. Scott Bessent says, and so does Trump, that the D-Day, the Normandy economics is coming. Yeah. And if anyone can do it, it would be Scott Bessent, who's able to asymmetrically look at how are they avoiding all these sanctions. They're going through 2 ports, overland routes up to Tajikistan and Turkmenistan. How do you put pressure on those governments and cause them to cease? So I think we're getting there. But, the bigger question is this, Joey. When are we going to deal with the 700-pound gorilla in the room, China and Russia? And China, Russia particularly needs to get its chops busted. Somebody needs to put them in their place. And I think you could do that really easily over some of this exporting that's going on with weapons technology. And, I don't know. People go, well, you're a hypocrite. We do it in Ukraine against them. Yeah, but we're right and they're wrong. So I don't care.
Yeah, like hypocrisy in war. Oh, no.
Are you talking about there's a morality?
Wait, to be completely on the up and up, you must let the enemy have the same exact advantages as you, or else you're a hypocrite.
That's what we do. It's what we do. The Geneva Convention restricts our hands.
Yeah, sure. Now, Bessent did kind of echo George W. Bush. He literally said yesterday on CNBC, "You're either with us or you're against us."
Yes, he did.
And I think most nations are going to cry uncle.
I think so too.
But China probably isn't, to your point. And the Chinese, I saw a report saying earlier today, now it could just be bluster that, we got enough oil. We don't need Iranian oil. We have other things that we can restrict from the United States to make the United States play ball with us. We're not too worried about it. But I don't know. It could be that it's not just the literal pressure that Trump and team are putting on. It's more Trump saying to Xi, look, we've got big plans. We have a very complicated relationship. We're doing pretty well on a lot of fronts in our relationship. Do you really want to roll the dice on Iran here?
Yeah.
I don't know that, and I don't know the answer to that, but I think that's probably what's going on, is adding a little pressure to make the Chinese really think, what are your top priorities here in the near future?
One of the dynamics that's at play here is we have really hampered China's Belt and Road initiatives in Africa and in South America. And so they're trying to make up, think of it this way, they only have one foothold in the Middle East, and that's really Iran. Right. And if you take that from them, now you've, again, isolated them into their hegemony of a regional power. So, yeah, there's a lot at stake here for both countries. But I think we have the ability, particularly with the team that's assembled right now under Trump, to make some serious headway against them.
Man, gas prices are so high, though.
It's ridiculous.
It sucks.
So, listen.
It does suck. And, a lot of food prices are still high. There's a lot of problems. In fact, Trump's responding to making a move today on beef, saying, today, he put this out on True Social, today I concluded a deal to substantially lower the price of ground beef for working American families. As everyone knows, under President Biden, beef prices soared at their fastest rate, and the American beef herd fell to its smallest size in modern history. As we work to rebuild this herd and help our ranchers, for the next 90 days, the United States will allow up to 300 metric tons, that's a lot of beef, of product for ground beef to be imported with no out-of-quota tariff. We have a commitment that this beef will be sold at 25% below current market prices. This deal will reduce prices for Americans while giving space for our great American beef herd to grow again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So, you can try all sorts of levers as we head into the midterms, because that's what's really going on.
Well, it is. And the beef front, that's a whole different episode we could do on the dissolution of COVID and the shutting down, and then China buying a lot of the plants. It's critical infrastructure. But if you live in a country like I do, you just buy a quarter of a cow, put it in your freezer or whatever. So that's what we do.
Yeah, there you go. Just buy them.
Or because I'm a McGregor, I just go protect somebody else's cattle, and then if they don't pay me, I steal it from them.
Yeah.
See how that works?
Just buy in bulk or steal the cattle.
Do you need some beef, Joey?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not that hard up for beef at the moment.
Do you eat? I don't think.
I don't eat meat on Fridays.
I know you didn't. I didn't think so. Think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that particular mortification, as they call it.
Yes, you're doing good.
In honor and memory of the passion of our Lord. 272-9228, 334-272-9228. But there's this trend by the Trump team. Big Bessent said it yesterday. J.D. Vance said it yesterday. They're all like, well, the other guys left us a big mess. Like, literally, I think that's the words Scott Bessent said. In fact, we could play a clip of him. This was Bessent yesterday outside the White House, right outside the gates, I believe. And fighting with reporters because the debt passed $40 trillion. But listen to this.
Remember, we did not get here in a day. That we were left with a mess. The Biden administration had the highest deficit to GDP in history when we weren't at war or weren't in a recession. For 2025, we brought it down by more than 1%.
So, Biden and them suck.
I saw we hit $40 trillion yesterday, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, just to show this is a trend, it's a talking point coming out of the administration. This is J.D. Vance on Newsmax, talking about the same sort of dynamic.
Even though the debt is too high, even though we inherited this debt bomb from the Biden administration, we actually do have a plan to get the economy growing faster than the debt, and that's the most important thing. The issue that we've had under the Biden administration and what we're still kind of dealing with is that the debt was growing faster than American GDP. That's the problem. That's something that we're certainly fixing every single day in the Trump administration. But even though the media doesn't cover this, I'm glad you're asking this question because Scott Bessent is very much on top of it. He knows it's a problem, and he's got the president's empowerment to do something about it. Even though the debt is too high.
So just stick to the plan, and it was really the other guys that came before us that screwed it up. And now I'm not going to argue with that too much, but is that going to be a good selling point to the American people?
Yeah, and one of the things I think that's become very apparent to me was I think that they expected a quick exit out of this solution, and they were ill-prepared, but that is not just the previous administration's issues. That malaise has happened, as Cinco and I have discussed on this show before, since the first Gulf War. We got stuck in this mindset of conventionality and GWAT, global war on terror. And so what we have now is an economic and a foreign policy kind of car wreck that, I think it will have some effects, but I'm not sure that if he can get some of these prices down on things, he should be able to. It should make some hay with it. But Joey, the question is this: why are we paying that much for gas if we're not getting any gas from there? And we know the answer to that. It's quite sad. Well, if all we're doing is making diesel here and we're importing refined gas, open new refineries and start making gas. I mean, I don't get it.
It's just there's a lot of just trust the plan going on right now. Well, and again, I don't know if that's actually going to get Republicans over the hump. Latest polling does not show very well.
No, 40% approval rate, something like that.
And while we're sticking to the politics, especially the future, because here's my guess, is the Democrats take the midterms, at least the House, and we have this gridlock government. There's going to be a lot of impeachment theater and investigations and all sorts of congressional hearings, and who knows what they're going to cook up next. But really, all that is setting the table for 2028.
That's right.
If they take the House, the presidential election will start very early indeed.
It will.
And it'll be the first, truly post-Trump one.
Yes.
Which is, it's going to be interesting how America feels in that moment. But a new poll is out. This is Emerson College poll. Secretary of State Marco Rubio outperforms J.D. Vance in 3 hypothetical 2028 presidential matchups against some of the top polling Democrats. Pitted against former Vice President Kamala Harris and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rubio tops both by the same, 48-43. Meanwhile, Vance bests the squad Congresswoman 46-44, but comes up short against the failed 2024 Democratic presidential nominee by 4 percentage points. Wait, J.D. Vance loses to Kamala Harris according to this poll?
I don't know. Listen, you can stop. Wow. I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
In a head-to-head presidential race against California Governor Gavin Newsom, Rubio garners 46% to Vance's 44% backing, but both Republicans trail the term-limited Golden State governor, who nets 49% support against the vice president and 48% against Secretary of State. I just have a hard time believing it. I have a hard time believing any of those names.
I do too.
Perhaps AOC is an exception, but I have a hard time believing any of those names are actually going to be the top of the ticket for the Democrats.
I don't think it will be either.
But former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and Senator John Ossoff are the strongest performing Democrats when put up against the 2 Trump administration officials. Ossoff, who made headlines over the weekend for insinuating President Trump and White House aide Natalie Harp were romantically entangled, holds a 3-point edge over Rubio and a 5-point edge against Vance. Again, these are hypothetical, just testing the waters.
Pete Buttigieg. Yeah. I mean, come on. Really, you think that's? I don't know. Where is this from? Which center is doing this? Does it say?
This is Emerson College.
Emerson.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. And take it for what it is. Like it's just one poll very early. It was only 1,000 registered voters between August 16th and 17th. Margin of error of 3 percentage points. So many of these breakdowns are within the margin of error.
I need the CNN guy. I need the loud CNN guy.
Harry Hinton.
I love him.
Yeah.
He gives some good reporting.
Yeah. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Somebody's saying, I actually don't mind this idea. They should bring back the fireside chat where the president can sit and speak directly without questions, interruptions, and just take time to explain at length important topics.
Sure.
Said Extreme Fitness Media. Well, I agree with you, Extreme Fitness Media. How's fitness extreme? What kind of fitness is this guy?
Because he's going hard, brother. You're not going hard enough.
Well, there are definitely people going harder than me. I'm not going to argue with that.
I think it's catchy.
Anyway, 272-9228. We got to hit this break here. More right after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Waverly Advisors, formerly Invista Advisors. Invista has joined Waverly Advisors, really expanded resources and services available to their clients while remaining true to who they are. They've aligned with a firm that actually shares their values, Alabama-based. And it really is great to see this growing success. And so if you are looking for top-notch, like, I'll put it this way, like, they're good without the technology. You know, there's like an Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
How, like, Tony Stark at one point doesn't have any of his gear, so he has to do, like, all the low-tech stuff. And you realize it's not the suit, it's the man.
You know what we call that? And I think this is where they're at over there at Waverly. Best practices. They're industry leading in what they do.
Right. So it's not all the it's not the suit, it's the man over there at Waverly Advisors. But of course they really have a great suit.
They do.
They have a great suite of technological tools and services ready to get the best and the cutting edge for clients of there who are looking for financial planning, investment management, and fiduciary advice. It could be you're just starting out with a family. Could be you're more trying to plan for retirement or end-of-life concerns you want to make sure are buttoned up. Or it could be, hey, I just came into a bunch of money, inherited. I'm younger. I want to take a little more risk with my investments. Or, hey, I'm in retirement, and I want to still see this portfolio grow. I don't want to take too much risk. They can help you with all that across the board. Maybe you run a nonprofit or an endowment or something like that. They can help you with fiduciary advice as well. So check out Waverly Advisors today. You can always go to waverly-advisors.com or just call them up. Same number as always, 387-0094. That's 387-0094. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. 272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation. So just because we don't have a lot of time here.
Okay.
I don't know if I buy this, but if it works, a lot of people are going to be eating this thing.
Okay.
Biotech company Inveda announced this week that its experimental drug, designed to curb appetite and mimic some of the body's effects of physical activity, delivered encouraging results in its first clinical trial.
Really?
ENV308 is our attempt to put the chemistry of exercise into a daily tablet, said the founder and CEO of the startup. The early results are drawing attention because the new drug could offer a GLP-1-like approach to weight loss without some of the class's biggest drawbacks, including gastrointestinal side effects and muscle loss. The pill mimics a molecule called lactate phenylalanine. or Lacfae, that's the easier way to say it, which scientists at Stanford discovered in 2022. The body produces it naturally when lactate, a chemical released by muscles during vigorous exercise, combines with a particular amino acid. Once it enters the bloodstream, Lacfae sends a signal to the brain to dial down the drive to eat. Studies in animals have also found that it can suppress appetite and reduce obesity. There's one catch. It breaks down quickly, so it doesn't stay in the bloodstream long enough to keep the urge to eat at bay throughout the day and promote lasting weight loss. That's where the E in V308 comes in. Invada's pill aims to harness Lacfae's benefits in a daily oral tablet, potentially making them last longer. In a phase 1 clinical trial, they gave this drug at varying strengths to 88 healthy adults. Notably, the experiment didn't set out to determine whether the drug actually helped with weight loss. Instead, researchers were primarily looking at whether it was safe. They found that the participants tolerated the drug across the full range of doses tested, with the company reporting it had an exceptional gastrointestinal safety profile. That can be a big deal in the weight loss world because major side effects, nausea, vomiting, and other gastrointestinal problems are pretty common reasons people stop taking the GLP-1s. Now, a lot of people used them, but used them too much. You can tell, like if that's all you did.
You're just like...
And it hollows you out, man. Now, if you do a little bit and along with a good change of habits...
A lot of people are doing the microdosing now, with particularly with Zeptide, that are doing testosterone and some other stuff. So, yeah, it's interesting.
So, this aspect of the health and fitness area is not going away, and especially the medical community looking for new ways to make money. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the same people that sell you fast food are selling you this at the end of the day. They all own the same stuff.
Absolutely.
And they're giving you the disease and the cure at the same time. It's a good racket. It's a real good racket.
It pays the bills.
Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. You big on these flock cameras at all?
I think it's fascinating. I want to see like superhero teams formed in the communities and go do things to them. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, listen, if there's ever been a place to plant a flag against overreach of government, monitoring and actually oversight of the citizenry, it's there.
Well, and it looks like Senator Arthur Orr was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
He says, I see what people are now seeing today, and I hate to say I was prescient or something, but unfortunately back then the public was just, and my colleagues in the legislature just weren't interested in the issue. I think this was all the way back in 2021.
Wow.
And the issue back then was the uses of these flock cameras, these digital plate readers, license plate readers that were being spread around the state in various places, and a high part of it was for commercial purposes. In other words, they would have your license plate and they would be able to market to you if you drove under one. And it could have a commercial purpose where you drive under one on the interstate and it says, hey, that's so-and-so. You got a Starbucks 2 miles ahead and at the next exit, pull on over. And the idea that they would be using government right away for commercial purposes was totally unacceptable. He went on to say, and secondly, we get into the law enforcement area, which are sympathetic. I certainly am with law enforcement. We want to catch bad guys and gals, and we want to put them in prison, but there are no parameters or guardrails or restrictions. It was just, we're going to put these readers up, and what we do with that information or where it goes, how long, how can we access it, all that, just trust us. And I wasn't comfortable with that either. So Orr was ahead of this issue. The technology exists. I think it can have its uses, but also, this is just one part of the massive cage that's been built around us.
Oh, absolutely. It's a controlled environment.
It's good to, in particular, control the police and the government on this. Along with some of the commercial side, it'd be very invasive can be invasive on the commercial side.
And I think, the thing about like facial recognition technology, every time you go into Dollar General, tell me you go to Walmart, whatever you're at, there's constant data feeds and constant reading and biometrics collections going on.
But I think the long and short is asking all these questions is most people don't want them. Thank you very much. No. And
if you want to get rid of the data centers, that's what you do. You destroy the cameras.
Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Is this?
Oh, hey, sorry. I had this. How you doing?
Doing all right.
You ring a bell there every day. Thank you. When London, at one point, they were getting a lot of complaints information about crime. So the Home Office says, well, you know what? We know why the rise in crime. We've got to do something about this. The reason that the rise in crime has happened is that we don't have enough cameras.
Right. Well, and the next thing would be like, we have too many people with private homes. Everybody needs to live in like a public cube where you can see everything all the time. Privacy, so overrated. What, do you think it's a freedom or something?
A long time ago, I think it was right after World War I, they developed a department to address the needs of military who had served, and they had a neat name for it. I kind of forgot the name of it, but they were going to give housing depending on rank, by the way. Does that sing or does that ring a bell of what I'm talking about?
Say again.
How you're going to recognize service for the Queen and the country, and you would go to Home Office getting a house depending on rank.
Oh yeah. That's. Yeah, I mean that's even in America. That's kind of your rank determines if you're doing on-base housing and not taking the BAH, the basic allowance for housing, off post. That your rank and service does matter in terms of what you get. So
that was ringing a bell too, because eventually, I guess population growth and what have you, they started pulling it away from vets so much, and things went real downhill over time. There's a movie. I'm sorry, never mind. I'm kind of scatterbrained today.
That's all good. I got a break anyway, Crawdad. I appreciate it.
Yeah, catch us next time. That sounds good. Yeah.
We do have to hit the stop there.
Yeah, no.
Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Northeast got a dose of severe weather last night in several places. A suspected tornado touched down at Atlantic Beach, Long Island. Flooding in New Jersey stranded dozens of motorists in their vehicles. In Dover, Delaware, a suspected tornado touched down, causing damage around the city. Tens of thousands of people, meanwhile, in Indiana still without electricity after it was knocked out about a week ago by a powerful storm. Tensions are still high between the U.S. and Canada over President Trump's threat of a 50% tariff. That threat has the premier of one Canadian province simmering and launching a blistering attack on the president online. He's urging Canada to keep on fighting rather than rush to make concessions to make President Trump happy. Tragedy for a young American woman and her fellow adventurers high on a mountain in Pakistan. Searchers now find the remains of American climber Mallory Geis. The team was wiped out by an avalanche. This is SRN News.
Are you tired of feeling lousy? Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup or just walking hurts? When enough is enough, call PhD Weight Loss. When I had enough 4 years and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't do it alone. I'm Mike Gallagher for PhD Weight Loss. Best phone call I ever made. They were right with me. They still are today. Right now, mention Mike. You'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. $1,500 value. Call 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule at half the price of traditional marketplace plans. See why believers across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days Diamond Jewelry Giveaway and TV Tuesdays TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22 Shorter, Alabama.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hey, Hang on, we are going to start to see some improvement in the humidity over the weekend. But today, still a tough one with a heat index of 105 to 110, actual high temperature up to about 96. And there will be a more generous supply of storms on the radar today. More storms to go around. Locally heavy downpours in spots, and some storms strong, possibly severe. Our low temperature tonight down to about 73. Then gradual improvement over the weekend. The humidity levels becoming more tolerable. Gradually, you will feel a difference. High temperature still in the middle 90s, but we'll drop the rain chances for Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Prattville City Council has approved a $150,000 consultant fee to evaluate a potential Prattville City school system. The consultation is intended to provide detailed financial and transitional information if Prattville decides to break away and form its own municipal school system. A new Alabama law is set to take effect October 1st, increasing the penalties for leaving the scene of an accident. Hit and run will be elevated to a Class B felony carrying a minimum sentence of 2 years and up to 20 years in prison. In addition to prison time, a hit and run conviction can also result in tens of thousands of dollars in fines. Alabama's state surplus property auction begins Saturday morning. Property no longer needed by state and federal agencies, as well as items abandoned at several airports in the southeast, will be up for bid. Public viewing and inspection of the auction inventory will be available at the State Distribution Center on Mobile Highway. The auction will conclude on Sunday, August 30th. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
It's 3 a.m. There's a leak in your ceiling, and you are officially out of Tupperware. Honey, the turkey roaster's full. Pass me the blender. Stop the Midnight Bucket Brigade. Call Robbie Pelt at Capital City Roofing. Robbie keeps his boots on the ground and his eyes on the job, personally managing every project to ensure his top-tier crew treats your home like their own.
Hey folks, Robbie Pelt here. You don't need a leak ruining your sleep or your cookware. Let my team protect your home. We'll get it done right. Call 277-3311 or visit capitalcityroofing.com.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Now, this is a fascinating clip.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is like an ongoing documentary or something. It looks like it's shot like a documentary. But you know, the Sean Duffy is the, Secretary of Transportation. Yes. And it's like it almost seems like a reality show of his family.
Okay.
And you'll probably recognize his wife, who's a reporter and been around conservative circles for a while, too. And so it starts with him talking to his daughter in the kitchen. And they're really talking about the prospect because she's smart and, doing good in school and stuff, and she kind of wants to go to Harvard.
Right.
And so let's just listen in. That's the setup.
Let's say you got into Harvard. Would you be pushing us to actually have you go?
Probably. Because if I don't get in, I kind of accept it. I'm not going to be upset. But if I do get in, I feel like you can't say no.
To Harvard?
Yeah.
Well, me and Mom can say no.
Catholicism to us is everything. It's the basis of our marriage. It's the basis of our family. So I'm nervous about the idea of Paloma going to Harvard. We spend a lot of time nurturing and providing formation for our kids, giving them an environment where they are steeped in faith and values. And so the idea of dropping her off at a place that would undermine that or try to undo all those things makes me worried.
And again, I don't want them to get one viewpoint. I want them to get a lot of different viewpoints. But I don't want them fed only one viewpoint that's contrary to the way my kids were raised. Listen, my problem is we have thought about how we raised you and how hard we've worked to, I think, raise what is a remarkable young girl. If I send you there, I think what happens is they have professionalized figuring out how they can take good young girls like you and, I think, corrupt their minds. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to have the political viewpoints that I have, but I do think it's important that you make those choices for yourself and you have a fair representation of what they are. And I don't think the Harvards of the world give you that kind of well-rounded picture.
But I went to an extremely conservative school in high school, and I'm part of an extremely conservative family. And then if I go to a liberal setting, that's a way more rounded education than if I go to a conservative high school and then go to a conservative college. That's just being kind of one-sided anyways.
But they're so good at it. You'll see young people go to a conservative school with a conservative family, and they get perverted and contorted. Are you ready?
So what do you think? I mean, you've actually, you've got a kid. What do you think of this dynamic here?
I think it's interesting that they're airing it. I think it's actually in an effort to show that boundaries and listen. I say this: if you've ever wanted to know what good parenting, what a Christ-centric, what a non-public educated, homeschooled family looks like successfully, my sister-in-law up in Ohio with her 7 kids, Vicky, did a great job. Hampton Harris's mom and dad did a great job too. And let me tell you something. Every one of those kids are on the right track. They went to the right schools. Their parents brought them up right. I think here we see a dichotomy of here's a guy he's a powerful individual. He's the Secretary of Transportation.
Right.
And he's just like a normal dad. He's like, look, you don't have to have my political views. But here's the thing. My thoughts are this. Jeremy our son went to Faulkner, played football at Faulkner. He got a very good Christian, Western classical education. John Eidsmoe, a good friend of mine, Colonel Eidsmoe, incredible dude. He's one of the senior members of the Federalist Society here in Alabama. His grandson's going to Patrick Henry College up in Virginia. There's Hillsdale College. I believe that you are responsible for guiding your children as much as you can. You can't force them. But
well, I would ask more questions.
What would you do?
I would probably be like, why do you want to go to Harvard? Yeah. Like, why the eagerness to it? Is it just the prestige?
Maybe she doesn't like the Palestinian problem, and she's going to go there and protest. That's what he's worried about.
Fair. No, but that's the conversation I would have is be like, why? Like, what exactly do you want to study? Like, what are you hoping to get out of this? Because I think you could say, and I'm sure the Duffys are aware of this, that the prestige factory, the achievement factory of the Ivy League, you can do good things out of it. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, why are you wanting to go there? And if it's just the prestige, perhaps consider that there are other institutions where you're going to get just as good, if not a better education, and maybe you can be part of raising their prestige.
She has no frame of reference, so she's thinking. And what troubles me is when she said, "I went to a conservative high school."
Yeah.
And now I need to round out my education. Not really. You need to cling to your principles, but maybe you are a liberal. I don't know.
I think there are a lot of parents having that conversation, and some are going to put their foot down saying, you know what, you get a full ride scholarship wherever, you can go wherever you want. But if I'm going to be paying for it, there are going to be some questions. And also, I think there's just going to be bigger conversations around what's the point of continuing education? Again, why are you going?
Right.
When there are other opportunities out there in terms of learning marketable skills. And it isn't just about the so-called experience. We keep waiting for the bubble to burst in college and university education.
Yeah.
But, it's amazing when the government funds so much of it, it stays afloat.
It does.
It's fascinating how that works. But you do have to wonder how much is this worth it to the average person when they start to realize, especially the people that went to college, got the degrees, grew up, have kids now, and they never really even used their degree. They realize, and they also realize the experience part of the college was actually
overrated.
Yes, if not detrimental.
Absolutely.
In certain ways. I don't know. There's good reasons to want to go to Harvard or any. I mean, if she gave great answers and great reasons, you'd have to hear her out.
No, sure. I mean, listen, at the end of the day.
Her final point was not a bad point.
At the end of the day, your parent, they want her to be in a better situation than they're in. And so I think parenting there's a trick there. And I think one of the things that Robin says, and I do believe this, if you raise a child right, if you really raise them right, they're not going to stray. They may test boundaries. They may go here or there. They may do this, but they're going to return back to the fold. That's what you hope and pray that your love and your discipline and your engagement yields for you in the future, is that they will always cling to those principles.
272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation, that's 334-272-9228. I just hope that there are going to be new institutions that crop up, and that the same old song and dance of the elite American factory, like it's a factory for elites.
It is.
To connect with fellow elites. I get it. And, I mean, she's in a unique case because it's that family.
Well, sure.
I really do get it. If you're like poor, like working class, and your grades are stellar, and you are brilliant, and I mean, this is your ticket to something like a completely different quality of life if you get into somewhere like Harvard. Completely different quality of life.
It is. I think, though, Joey, you know this, that if you do it right at Auburn, Ohio State, there's an alumni network.
Sure.
And you can find yourself, if you're networking and interning and doing things, any school, listen, you can have success going to frickin' Alabama State if you want.
But you know what I mean. It's not even
it's
not even just the expectations of the classes. It's who you meet.
Well, that's
so.
The problem,
if you go to Harvard or Yale or something, you might very well be going to class with the next president of the United States,
and you may be protesting against the Israelis
and the next Supreme Court justice, and it could be. But you know what I mean. Like, you look at who occupies the Supreme Court, who clerks for the Supreme Court, who becomes president and vice president. Like, I mean, this is just who becomes the guy who invents Facebook. Yeah. It's usually coming out of those places.
Right. And the thing about it is, look at one of the reasons I like Justice Thomas is he says, I don't pick any of my interns. None of them come from the Ivy League. I go out into the other schools and find the best. I think it's a statement of coolness.
Again, 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. So now let's clear the decks for this piece. Because it's just a sign of the times with institutions, prestige institutions, not quite as prestigious as they used to be. In particular, the newspaper business. The New York Times is still going strong for what it's worth, and so is, I guess, the Wall Street Journal. Washington Post has fallen off a lot. A lot. In the last, say, 5-10 years, it's fallen off a lot. I mean, and it is to the credit of, the New York Times. They do put out, especially when it's not politics, they put out a really talented, good reportage on a lot of different interesting things. Like that, the thing we started with about the skull and the trebuchet. They find pretty, and they write it up well. So, okay, if you can sort of constantly attract that talent and with the connections, cool, you're going to have a good product. But the era of the regional paper.
Oh gosh!
Like there used to be, like
it's a big deal.
The Montgomery Advertiser was a huge deal.
Dayton Daily News. My family had subscriptions to it throughout the years. Yeah.
No, in a way, it's like it used to be. Like radio is a very different thing.
Absolutely.
Television even was a very different thing. And so everybody's trying to figure out how to survive in this new environment. And yet, part of the problem is you now get selection bias of who actually still, say, goes and works at the Seattle Times. Now, you probably are going to have some maybe liberal but fair-minded people that are just always wanted to be good reporters. They aren't really that political.
No, I got you.
They're not that, like, cultural activist or anything like that.
They're objective.
And, they just want to do their job. And then what happens, though, is that the person that ends up being editor? Is that the person that ends up essentially with the keys to the kingdom of what the Seattle Times officially says?
Well, yeah, I think
Quality
so.
control?
I think so.
You would hope, but get a load of this story. This is a sports reporter who wrote, I believe, a weekly column for the Times, Seattle Times. And, well, I'll just read it.
Okay.
I really wanted the column to run. I didn't think it would, but I felt obligated to try to get it in. He was, by the way, at the Seattle Times for 11 years.
Wow.
Toward the end of last month, before the Seattle Storm hosted the Indiana Fever, yes, folks, it's a WNBA story, I spoke to people attending a rally in support of Sophie Cunningham outside the Climate Pledge Arena. Of course it's called that. The Fever Guard had recently taken a stance against biological males competing in women's girls' sports, and a few dozen folks showed up to express their gratitude for her position. One of them was 16-year-old Annalay Wilson, who'd lost to a biological male in a track and field race in 8th grade and was holding a sign reading, "Thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for our girls." I didn't know if I was going to write something at that point, but after she allegedly got cussed out by a Storm co-owner during the game, I felt like I had to weigh in. One thing Wilson emphasized to me at the rally was that she wasn't anti-trans. Another student athlete named Frances Stodd, who said she's endured daily verbal abuse after refusing to play against a biological boy in a basketball game, echoed Wilson's sentiment. So that was the thesis of my column, that supporting the separation of biological females and males doesn't automatically make you transphobic. So let's stop throwing those labels around. See, again, this guy sounds liberal, reasonable fella. And actually, without having to read that column, I could click here and go read that rabbit hole and read the whole column. I don't think we need to.
I don't think we do. Yep.
That's a pretty basic point, that you could actually be like, yeah, I'm even affirming like my friends who are transitioning and questioning and stuff, but I don't, probably Bob, who's now become Beatrice, shouldn't, man, Dante, roll over.
What ring are you in?
Turn that from a comedy into a divine tragedy real quick.
What would Virgil tell us about that?
Right. But if Bob becomes Beatrice all of a sudden, it'd be like, B, you can't go play basketball with the gals.
You can be a girl, but you can't be that kind of girl.
Yeah, like, come on.
This is make-believe land.
Like, and I still love you, and like, I'll still call you B, and I'll call you whatever you want.
Don't do that. Yeah.
So, and this guy's just saying, let's just stop it with the language and the just the labeling and all this stuff. So I sent a draft after talking to my editor the morning of Friday, July 31st, telling him there's no rush to run it. He told me later that day that he and others were looking at it, but that it wouldn't be ready for Sunday's paper. Monday night, I got an email saying that his boss was hoping to talk to the top 2 newsroom editors about it on Wednesday. No feedback had been given to me. Thursday afternoon, my editor informed me that I wasn't going to run because I didn't tell him I was doing. It wasn't going to run because I didn't tell him I was doing this in advance.
Okay.
I didn't buy the reasoning, nor should he have bought the reasoning.
No, that doesn't. You don't tell the editor.
Talk about a passive-aggressive excuse.
Yeah, really.
If that were the case, the piece would have been killed on the spot, not passed through the hands of multiple editors over several days. My response, says this sports columnist for the Seattle Times, to resign on the spot.
That's show them. How are they going to get by without you?
He goes on to write, and this is off Substack, that may come off as an emotional decision, but it was exactly what I was prepared to do. This, after all, was one of the several columns of mine that had been spiked at the Seattle Times. One was a piece questioning whether players for the U.S. women's soccer team were really the victims of discrimination in their equal pay lawsuit. Another was a more general column on cancel culture in sports. The last, written shortly after George Floyd's death, implored people to listen to state champion basketball coach Mike Bethea, a black man urging the public not to stereotype cops. The common theme, all of these challenged prevailing newsroom narratives and likely would have triggered the outrage mob. I've always thought that it was a columnist's duty to generate discussion on the most hot-button issues. To avoid such topics was to leave the reader shortchanged. I guess in the end, I just didn't feel like I could do my job properly anymore. Right now, I'm in the tenuous position of trying to defend my resignation without sounding like a malcontent. So let me say, very grateful for the 11 years I had at the Seattle Times. The talent there is immense, and the editors let me have a lot of fun with other stories. I also realize where the brass is coming from. The mob is frightening and does not forget. Lots of seemingly brave souls have submitted once activists got their hooks in them. If I had more people depending on me, perhaps I'd act similarly. But in thinking about this decision, I kept going back to an Albus Dumbledore line. Okay.
Oh gosh. Now, listen.
Don't be quoting. You're a grown-ass man, and you're about to quote Dumbledore?
You're a sports writer. Sports writer.
Quoting Harry Potter?
Cheesy Pete. Listen.
But in thinking about this decision, I kept going back to an Albus Dumbledore line. We must all face the choice. I don't know why Albus Dumbledore became Russian, but we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy. You could have said that without quoting Dumbledore.
No, there's so many other people you could have quoted.
To be honest, I'm scared crapless. He didn't say crap, though, right now.
Okay.
I have no idea how the next few months or years are going to play out. But that fear beats the indignity of being muzzled. The plan for now is to keep writing in this space. Maybe that will spawn a new career, or maybe I'll be a dental assistant in 2 years. I genuinely don't know. All that's certain is that I'm done holding back. The best things in life are free, speech being at the top of the list.
Well, so,
yeah.
I don't know, man. My thoughts.
I don't know. Actually, I'd say hat tip to this guy. Yeah. Other than the Dumbledore quote,
he lost. Listen, I mean,
yeah, you were with them until the Dumbledore.
Oh, yeah, it's sort of like, hey, let's. And then when I play Dungeons and Dragons, what I do is I dress up in an elf suit, and it's like, come on, don't do that. You're a sports writer. But Seattle sports writers are not the same as a Birmingham sports writer or a Columbus, Ohio sports writer.
Right.
In fact, the official official alcohol beverage at tailgating out there at Washington and in Oregon is Zima.
That's old school.
That's terrible. Dude.
Man, I remember those commercials and I'd seen those as a kid. I'm like, that's cool.
I want to drink
those
that.
people are cool.
I want to party with them.
Little did I know, man, Headache Central.
Hey, most of the parties don't look like that.
No, and they don't look like that. Everybody's a lot uglier. A lot of
and the house is not that clean.
Should have gone to Harvard if you want to go to parties like that. All right. So actually, I do credit this fella though.
No, I do
essentially saying I'm scared, but it's better to be scared than to be muzzled. Amen, brother. Take an opportunity, take a chance.
He's on Substack. Maybe he'll catch fire.
No, and this piece has gone viral. A lot of people sharing it. Like 1.2K. Like a little 1,200 likes, 400 something comments. There are people watching it, and hopefully from reading just that one piece he's a good writer.
Well,
so
one of the things you find in life, Joey, and I know you've encountered this because we've talked about it, is there comes times, and I'm not going to quote Dumbledore here. I'm going to quote John F. Kennedy, who said in Profiles of Courage, the hottest places in hell are reserved for those people who sit on the fence and do nothing. Sometimes you've got to take a stand. Most of the times you have to take a stand. The question is, and the key, as Rudyard Kipling said, the key to winning the war is keeping your head on while everyone else around you is losing theirs, literally. And the thing is, Joey, I found in life, pick your battles quite carefully. Is that the hill you want to die on over there? Is that the hill you want to die on? But if, in his case, this is what he does. This is his livelihood. I'm not going to be muzzled. And now he'll have to figure it out, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Could always, well, never mind. He said he can't do
Okay,
it.
I got it. I was waiting, but I think we should share this, like, really tragic story.
All right, go for it.
This is from the New York Post, but it's about a story out of South Carolina.
Okay.
And a South Carolina sanitation worker died his very first day on the job when he fell from the back of a garbage truck being driven by his father. John Derek Dover, 32, was one of two workers standing atop the truck's rear platform as crews collected trash in Gaffney around 1:50 p.m. Monday. As the truck made a turn, Dover fell and hit the pavement, according to the Cherokee County coroner, Dennis Fowler. Dover was rushed by ambulance to a medical center where he's pronounced dead at 3:26 p.m. This is the most tragic incident, as it was Dover's first day on the job.
Man.
What's even worse, the truck was being driven by his father. I can't even begin to imagine that. Ooh.
You know what's sad? Is his dad probably helped him get the job, and now his dad's going to think, yeah, no. That's just tragedy.
Well, and, it reminds me, this morning, Father Alex in his homily was, not to re-give the homily, but at one point he was talking about, like, people don't want to think about death, because the reading this morning from the book of Ezekiel about the Lord saying to Ezekiel, say these words to the bone.
That's right, to the bone.
And sinew and flesh, and the bones came back alive, essentially. Yeah. Now speak breath to the bones. And, like, so, yes.
Give it life.
But that's a pretty morbid scene, seeing bare bones grow flesh and sinews and all this stuff.
That would be crazy.
And so part of the homily was a lot of people don't want to talk about it, don't want to face death, but it could be at any moment.
We're not promised tomorrow.
It could, like, you just
You're not
never
promised
know.
your next breath, Joey. I mean, we're
Right.
not promised our very next.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of the saints, I didn't know this, but a lot of the saints in our Christian history would keep a memento mori, a skull,
You've told me this.
to remind themselves.
The fragility of life.
And, I mean, I do that. I'm not a saint, but I do that for that exact reminder. As I talked about a couple weeks back and wrote about a couple weeks back. And it's just a story like this makes you go, wow, 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 wow. Because he got so many plans, don't we all, folks?
Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
32. And so, I mean, you just need to be in the right place, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You're never promised tomorrow. Celebrate each day. Yeah, that one just...
That's terrible.
What a headline. Too.
That is. It's
And it shows, too, like the, things you take for granted, everything's got a little danger to it, baby.
Well, it does. And I tell people, when I have people say, Troy, Robin thinks I'm an underreactor. She's like, Troy, you don't get worried about anything. You just who cares? We'll get more tomorrow. Don't worry about it. And what I come to learn is your experiences in life shape who you are. Now, they say a person's personality is, some psychologists say at 13, 18, whatever it is. But what you encounter in your life that influences and really impacts you has lasting effects, both positive and negative. I've always told you this. I said, when you don't fear dying, this is me saying this, when you don't fear dying, you can truly live. You're liberated. You're free.
Right.
You're not bound to this mortal coil.
Amen.
And that's in two ways. I don't fear anything physically because I've had so much happen to me that I know that God will take me when He wants me. And I think that then there's the spiritual side. Well, if He does, great. I know how this story's going to end because I've given my life and my blood for His sacrifice for me. And I think that, Joey, a lot of people, I don't know about this young man, I don't know about his dad. Are they going to be bitter? You wonder, can they turn to God? Because how does a dad ask God, like in the Bible in many cases, when a son has to, let's talk about Isaac, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, when, Joey? I don't know. And you just pray for those people. That's all you can do.
Absolutely, you got to pray for them. And it doesn't always have to be because I know you've been some pretty extreme circumstances. It could be like this reporter, this columnist we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like there are little moments all the time in life where are you going to do the right thing?
That's right.
Or are you going to let fear dictate, the excuses that are thrown out there? And while we're on this more spiritual bent, over the weekend I watched, I don't know if you've seen this, I think you would love it.
What is it?
The movie, it's a movie called Nefarious.
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
And I was told in reviews that kind of let me go, well, I'll check it out.
Okay.
That it is the most accurate depiction of demonic possession. And
I have seen some.
then I realized that essentially this movie could be a two-person play. Most of the movie is just, I'll set it up a little bit.
Okay.
It's a man waiting to be killed by the electric chair in Oklahoma on death row, and a psychiatrist who was court-ordered to come in to see whether or not he was mentally competent to be put to death, or if he's not mentally competent, keep him alive. And the psychiatrist is an atheist and all this stuff. And let's just say when he goes in there, the man he encounters is not just a man. And it takes him a while to start to realize that. And I don't want to give away the movie. But let's just say, you think of the movie like The Exorcist, and there's all sorts of so-called demon movies out there, like, Keanu Reeves and Constantine. Cool action movie, don't get me wrong, but that's not exactly like what when people talk about this in real life. And I know you've known some people in the military that have.
I know personal experiences, both of the positive and negative ilk. Yeah.
And so instead of it being like the levitating, or like the shape shifting kind of things, or climbing on the walls, or like all that shock stuff to people that ain't used to it, what this movie focuses on is the Luciferian intellect.
Right.
And it's really just a battle of wits and a battle of belief. And it is, I can't remember the actor's name. The guy who plays the man on death row who's possessed is remarkable.
Cool.
An incredible performance. Now, this movie, of course, was panned by critics in Rotten Tomatoes because I believe it's based on a book by Steve Deace.
Okay.
Who is a talk radio host, very conservative Christian, who after he converted really got into, because he said he grew up on horror movies and stuff. Okay. Like his mom or grandma loved watching horror movies. So as a kid, he saw all the crazy demon stuff and all the crazy, all the stuff
Evil
horror
Dead.
movies do. And so he's always been kind of fascinated with that, just being exposed to that as a kid. And when he became a Christian, he really actually started to look into what do exorcists say? What are the actual histories of this? What does the Bible say about it? And he wrote this book called Nefarious. And so this movie's based off that book. And so because it came out of a conservative writer, radio host, and a conservative movie studio, the movie literally ends, let's just say Glenn Beck makes an appearance, because the filmmakers first heard about that book when Steve Deace was on Glenn Beck's show talking about the book Nefarious. And so I was blown away. I don't want to, I'll have to shut up and hit a break here, because if you're just looking for a very, very compelling movie, and in a way it is a huge indictment from the voice of hell itself of our culture. And it's one of those moments, you remember Paul Harvey's If I Were the Devil?
Yes, I do remember.
Or like C.S. Lewis's Screw Tape Letters?
Yes, I do remember it.
It's in that genre.
In that genre.
But for the modern American era. So if you like Paul Harvey's If I Were the Devil, if you like that sort of thing at all, watch Nefarious. And it's short.
Check it out.
It's only an hour and a half.
So you remember the priest that was up in I think he's in Indiana. He's over towards Brookville, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the 12 sanctioned Vatican-trained priests. I had reached out to him, and I think we could probably get him on the show. I think that would
Which
be cool.
one?
His name is. I sent you his profile. No. It's he's younger. Very cool. He's very active in sharing the information, and I thought you would enjoy I don't know. I thought maybe we could talk to him. I
Sure.
think he would be
Some
really
point.
a great guest to be on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. At some point, love to talk.
Could you imagine
like
that? Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a great movie. Go check it out, folks, if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Right.
Blew my hair back.
Well, if it impressed you, then I'll check it out.
Anyway, we got to hit this break. This part of the program, though, first brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they can help you fellas out if you just don't feel like a man anymore. And it very well could be your problem is low testosterone. Say you lack confidence. Say you lack energy. Your sleep patterns are off. You're getting fatter, and you're losing muscle mass, and it's not like you're eating more or working out less.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you don't feel good, and you're never in the mood. There's no libido to speak of.
I know people in Satsuma that need that. Yeah.
Well, then check out Montgomery Men's Health because they can help you understand what's the underlying condition here. The question is, gentlemen, do you know your numbers? And if you don't know your testosterone numbers and you have this feeling, like you feel like crap all the time, why not get by there for a $99 testosterone test? You get your numbers in about an hour. And they have a whole menu of options, and they might discover, actually, no, this is what's going on with you, or that's what's going on with you. But the testosterone test is the way to actually start understanding the systemic stuff. And maybe you don't really have issues, but you want to up your game. They now offer peptides.
Yes, you're doing that.
Sermorelin, and which ups your natural growth hormone.
Yes, a stimulator.
And it's great for the gym and sleep, deep sleep
does.
cycle. And I'm using it. I really enjoy it. But they also do NAD Plus for extra mental focus and drive and energy throughout the day. A lot of cool things they got going on over there at Montgomery Men's Health. Been serving this community for 15 years, helping men out. So again, make an appointment today at 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or you can always go online to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com, make an appointment there. Montgomery Men's Health, for every man in every season of life.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
You want your floors to scream new, fresh, and stylish. But if yours are groaning, tired, old, and outdated, you're in luck. Because at Prattville Carpet, you can revitalize your floors while you save on the best brands available with perfect and professional installation and Prattville's unbeatable lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Start shopping for your floors right now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Hey, y'all, Lewis at the Capitol Oyster Bar located over here on that beautiful Alabama River. If you hadn't never been here, let me tell you, it's easy to get to. Get on I-65, take the North Boulevard exit, take the first exit you come to, that's Louisville Street. Hit the bottom of the ramp, turn right, and turn right. That's 3 times. Follow it to the end of the road. We're down here sitting on a bluff looking over the river and cooking up fresh seafood. We got a fryer, a steamer, and a grill. We can cook it any way you like it. We also have a marina down here. That's right. You can come down here, rent you a pontoon boat. All you need is a driver's license, a credit card. We can get you a good time on the river down here. We also have a RV park. You can come down here and stay for a little while, and then all you got to do is walk over and get you some good food and live entertainment. No show this Sunday, but we got a great lineup coming up with Roger Hurricane Wilson, followed by the Gate Band. That's right. Labor Day weekend, the Gate Band will be down here. And then on the 13th of September, Shaylin. What a great show that's going to be. Check it all out, CapitolOysterBar.com. Go to our Facebook page. Get out here soon. Come hungry, y'all.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. How to find the right mortgage lender. Most of all single-family sales involve obtaining a mortgage loan to finance the sale. How do you know you have the right lender? First, always use a local lender. There is no out-of-state lender that can match the services and the interest prices your local lender can provide to you here. We have many good quality lenders to choose from here in the River Region. Some guidelines for a buyer would be, 1, can I meet face-to-face with the lender, get to know that person before I turn over all my personal information to a complete stranger. Next, depending on your needs and price range, try to get more than one option with financing to choose from. Very important to know what are all the closing costs and prepaid costs up front so I can make an informed decision on which program to use. For help with a list of top lenders, call Bo Goodson for help. Bo Goodson, 221-2883 at the Goodson Group.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a political activist.
That's right, man.
And could you please explain to us your red cap with the letters MMRGA?
Yeah, man, this is my MARGA hat.
MARGA?
Yeah, man, that stands for Make My Retirement Great Again.
I see.
And to do that, what you need to do is call David Ernest,
the asset preservationist.
That's right, man. You can call David at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
And I understand that's a toll-free number.
Yeah, man. Get David Ernest on the case, and your retirement will be great again.
And you make these hats?
I do. Here's a whole pile left from the last administration.
And they say CPWABD.
Yeah, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
And as you said, there's a whole pile here.
Well, there wasn't much demand.
I can dig it.
What if your next sales opportunity wasn't about selling? It was about helping local businesses grow. I'm Jennifer Pestricelli with Blue Water Broadcasting. We combine the power of 7 local radio stations with today's most effective digital marketing solutions, including streaming audio, social media, targeted display, and more. We're looking for an experienced account executive who enjoys building relationships, solving problems, and creating results for clients. If you're self-motivated, thrive on new business, and want unlimited earning potential with a local company, I'd love to hear from you. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com and send me your resume today.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The frontal system that has brought storms to the state today and into the evening hours tonight will also deliver some better news for the weekend. Gradually behind this front, the humidity will start to get better. As the weekend goes on, you'll really feel a difference, even though the high temperatures will still be in the middle 90s. And we will subtract rain from the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. It'll be a step in the right direction. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So, looking at a headline here from CBS News.
What you got?
And it's just, again, it's a sign of the wicked times. AI, quote-unquote, nudify apps that can digitally undress any photo posed back to school risk. Oh, my God. Now, it's fake.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just like, ugh. But still, I can't imagine it's... Well, anyway, here's what CBS writes. A sweet back-to-school photo can be more vulnerable to manipulation in the age of artificial intelligence, with bad actors getting their hands on AI-enabled apps that let them take an innocent photo and sexualize it. All that's required is a photo of someone even fully clothed. so-called nudify apps. Okay, before I even keep reading this, I have a sense that people are just going to stop caring. Like images, all the stuff that we've gotten used to reacting to.
You become callous to
And
it.
I know I've brought this
Change
up over the years, but think about how propaganda has worked, especially, say, war propaganda. Like World War I, war propaganda was really, really simple.
Sure it was.
Like it literally was like the Hun is coming to kill your mother and daughters and do all sorts of other things to them, and so go join us and let's kill the Hun. Like, and then it got a little more sophisticated with the World War II, but like the reasons for war to sign up to defend your country, if they tried to give them today,
yeah, it's
nobody signed up.
Well, that's why there's the ghost in the machine.
There's that. And so you come up with different ways of having to motivate people and encourage people, but think of the first, people freaked out when they saw The Exorcist for the first time. People freaked out when they saw Jaws in the movie theaters. I remember when people freaked out in the 90s with Blair Witch Project. And now you see that, you go, what is this? But it's, unless you live through it, it's hard sometimes to understand why was this such a big deal.
Absolutely.
And so I have a sense that AI is going to do the same thing. People at first, and we've been going through it with social media, it's like, look at this photo and look at what that person said and look at it, and then it's just going to be eventually like you develop a callus, and maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. But you just go, yeah. Oh, so if somebody essentially takes a photo of you or I or anybody else and makes it naked, I'm going to be like, number one, that's false advertising. Thank you for that. That's very generous of you. But people are going to be like, turn it right back on somebody else immediately. Like, you're the creep here, dude. Or people are just not going to care. Like, that's just fake.
Well, and I think part of it is they hide behind a screen until somebody finds them.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, roughly half of U.S. teens say they've seen AI-generated porn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's according to Common Sense Media, an advocacy group focused on kids' online safety. Of those who have seen AI porn, 1 in 4 say it featured themselves or someone they know. Oh, my God.
That's even stranger. Targeted.
1 in 5 teens even admits to having made AI porn, while 1 in 4 has shared it or knows someone who has. And that's just self-reporting. These apps are widely accessible, and some have no age restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Last year, Meta removed a number of ads promoting nudify apps after a CBS News investigation found hundreds of such advertisements on its platforms. Recently, CBS News identified dozens of such apps in the Google Play Store and in Apple's App Store and tested their capabilities. CBS News fed AI-generated images of a fully clothed adult woman and an adult male into 70 different AI photo editing apps. 19 of the apps altered the photos to create disturbing images and videos, which included nudity and explicit sexual content. CBS News is not disclosing the name of the apps or the keywords it used to discover them. But it's very easy to alter a photo. For one app, all a user had to do was highlight the area to change and type in a prompt. For example, you could type in make nude. Yeah, man. And especially like the thing I just said about people build up a callus.
Absolutely.
It's not, I don't mean it's always good that happens.
But it does.
Because we're very cynical people. We're very ironic people.
Absolutely.
Like we just are not our grandparents or our great-grandparents. Just
thank God.
The amount of trust and just the American, like there was so much there. And now we are like, I think this time period is almost as cynical as say like 70s cinema. Oh, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
Like,
yeah. That's
like
a
Network
scary
or
thought.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, sure.
Just sticking to Sidney Lumet. Like, yeah, like it's just, I think we're going through another one of those
malaise.
Yeah, where you just don't believe anything. And yet, I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think, what do you do about this? Because you do have the personal responsibility thing of like, don't do that.
Right.
Don't even entertain it. Don't care about it. But I think there is some responsibility for Apple and Google.
Absolutely.
On the back end, so to speak, that they actually, regulate this somewhat.
They've kicked the can
Not
down
completely.
the road. But there's something's got to give. That's for sure.
CBS News made Google and Apple aware of the apps, most of which the tech firms have since removed from their stores. So they get it. They're like, yeah, that's crazy. No, and this is the whole thing with section, what is it, 230 that we were talking about forever?
Yep, 230. Yep.
You know why we have that and the way we have that? Because of porn.
Oh, yeah, 70% of the bandwidth is porn anyhow. So
Well, because early internet, like, I'm trying to think through the exact logic. They gave essentially immunity to big platforms because there's the free speech question. So they tried to ban pornography outright, and they said First Amendment expression. The court did. Yeah. I wonder if that would be changed if you went in front of this court. I do wonder if a different court might have a different interpretation of obscenity laws, for instance.
Larry Flint.
But, okay, so that's First Amendment, protected under the First Amendment, the High Court says. So then you have the First Amendment protection for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Then out of that, you get people who start posting on these websites. And so somebody can sue you.
Mm-hmm.
Say you throw it up on Facebook, and somebody sues saying, my children saw that awful material you put up there. So we're suing you.
Right.
And you're the platform, you got to curate this. And then another person sues you saying, that's my First Amendment protected speech you just censored. So I'm suing you. And so they gave them immunity and essentially said, police yourselves. Have your own standards. Right. So, like, just to be blunt, on Facebook, you're not going to see the hardcore stuff. But on X for a long time, yeah, that stuff's all out there. So it's kind of like you regulate your own backyard in the same way you regulate your own TV. But then you get into the power and influence and the ability to, like, truly influence at a subconscious level people with this stuff. And so it's a heck of a power beyond just posting and taking down posts. But you see the bind that these folks were in. They're like, this will destroy the internet as we know it if people can sue from every which way. Eventually it's going to have to be revisited. But it's interesting. The argument I always made for years, and I think I'd stick with it today, is don't get rid of Section 230 protections because it would open up a lot of different problems, especially with government heavy-handedness and regulation. What we need is a commercial technological solution to this. And guess what happened? Elon bought X, or Elon bought Twitter.
Right.
And it did change a lot of that conversation immediately. Because you don't need a counter majority, you just need an alternative.
Well, I think you said something that's very to your point, and when I'm saying this is when you said we need to police ourselves. You know, I jokingly say this. You've heard me say it. There's two types of crazy in the world. One, somebody gets drunk, takes your clothes off, goes in their front yard and howls at the moon. Another, they do it in your front yard. You're kind of forced to. No, you're forced to deal. You're forced to deal with it, right? And so what we've done is we've not dealt with it, and now the children are really the thing you worry about. So.
This is part of the program. In fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you with buying a home or refinancing a home. And if you're a veteran, they specialize in helping veterans out. So if you are looking to, get that great refinance deal, veterans, you got a better deal on the table.
Yeah.
Like, I think, 100% cash out refinance?
100%. That's right.
Or how about if you're buying? Yeah, no down payment. That's ridiculous. No down payment at all if you're buying as a veteran. And say you're not a veteran, they can still get you the best possible deal. And here's the thing. You don't have to immediately pull the trigger. What you need to do is get information. What you need to do is start a conversation. What you need to do
get pre-qualified.
Just get to know Alabama Home Mortgage. And once you get pre-qualified, pre-approved, it gives you options. It gives you, say, material to actually convince the wife, if that makes any sense.
She's probably the one pushing.
Or the husband. Maybe he's the hard ass in the relationship. Who knows? But Alabama Home Mortgage can help guide you through all these needs, again, whether you're looking to buy or refinance. So check them out today. You can always just start that conversation at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. And just a reminder, normally will you be talking to Michael Cohen.
That's right.
But the founder of Cohen, his dad, Raymond Eli Cohen, passed away Wednesday night at the age of 95. So today they are closed in honor of their founder and remembering his life.
His legacy.
If you go to Michael's Facebook page, you can see a write-up, an obituary. It's a reminder of how
fragile life is.
Well, and how what you can accomplish in 95 years when you do it the right way.
It's amazing.
When you make it about family, when you make it about everybody that walks into your place of business becomes family, and when it's about the community. That's how institutions are built. It's true relationships that last. And so I just, again, want to say, everybody pray for the Cohen family and pray for his rest.
Absolutely. God bless his family.
So
there's your story up there. They're talking with the Dumbledore reporter. You know what they are? He's up there. He just showed him. He didn't look like I thought he was going to look like. But
he's a little more manly than you.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like he's got. He looks like he would pass. But this is a guy talking about him.
Now that guy, he's a Fox reporter.
Yeah, no, he's a Fox reporter.
Yeah, but he has no neck. What is the deal with Fox reporters with no necks? Brett Baer, that fella right there?
I know, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe that's maybe they scrunch them down so they fit
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's hit our top of the hour
All right.
break. We got something that you discovered that you wrote
It's
up?
pretty. It's pretty illuminating. It's not going to be good. Yeah.
Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm new in Washington. The Democrat National Committee has ruled out now 2 of 5 cities that were on a short list to host the 2028 presidential convention. Chicago has been ruled out, and after a contingent paid a visit to Atlanta, that city has been ruled out as well. The president is reportedly still deciding who he would like to replace his White House press secretary, who's leaving in 10 days. Lots of speculation as to who he'll select to replace Caroline Leavitt, who's leaving at the end of the month. She'll be spending more time with her 2-year-old son and 3-month-old daughter. The U.S. military says a charter aircraft carrying 8 people crashed at a remote radar site in western Alaska. It killed everybody on board, which included 2 pilots and 6 passengers. Tensions remain high between the U.S. and Canada over tariffs. The premier of a Canadian province launched a blistering attack on President Trump, urging Canada to keep fighting rather than rushing to make concessions. This is SRN News.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told
Rich
you.
Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days Diamond Jewelry Giveaway and TV Tuesdays TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The frontal system that has brought storms to the state today and into the evening hours tonight will also deliver some better news for the weekend. Gradually behind this front, the humidity will start to get better. As the weekend goes on, you'll really feel a difference, even though the high temperatures will still be in the middle 90s. And we will subtract rain from the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. It'll be a step in the right direction. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
1819 News.
A federal judge dismissed a lawsuit this week that was brought by two former members of the Birmingham Waterworks Board. William Mohammed and Brenda Lewis were suing the state government and the current board members of the newly created Central Alabama Water for their removal from this board. The judge, Anna Manasco, ruled that the lawsuit failed on many levels to present its argument. The same judge has yet to rule on another lawsuit filed by the Birmingham mayor, Randall Woodfin, against Governor Ivey regarding this very same water issue. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Mark your calendar for November 6th. The Albert Patterson Gala returns to the Barber Motorsports Museum featuring United States Senator Tommy Tuberville. We've sold out 2 years running and tables are already filling for 2026. If you believe in a thriving Alabama built on truth, courage, and accountability, this is your night. Don't miss your chance. Visit 1819news.com/gala. That's 1819news.com/gala to get your table today.
The president of the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind in Talladega has announced he's leaving that position. Dr. Dennis Gilliam has been at that school for 30 years. His contract expires at the end of this month, and the AIDB board did not offer to renew it. The move comes just weeks after a state audit of the educational institution showed operating budget gaps and other financial issues. And Governor Ivey announced this past Thursday that $52 million in grant money is going to be distributed to 21 projects along the Gulf Coast that are designed to strengthen communities, waterways, tourism, and natural resources. The money is coming to the state through the Gulf of Mexico Energy Security Act of 2006. Governor Ivey says that $310 million has been awarded through GOMESA to the state during her time in the governor's office. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Beyond the Forecast with meteorologist Ben Lang on the 2023 Selma tornado.
We were here in the studio. The tornado didn't hit us. We were just fine. We're still able to go to work the next day. But for other people, their lives have been upended. That's really tough. It is a big deal to be able to use my knowledge about what's going on with the weather to hopefully be able to keep folks safe.
Ben Lang, part of the Action 8 weather team, your weather authority.
Every occasion deserves great food, amazing drinks, and an atmosphere worth remembering. Welcome to 243 South in the heart of historic downtown Prattville. From lunch and dinner to weekend brunch and happy hour, 243 South brings Southern hospitality and elevated dining together under one roof. And there's even more. The Ember Parlor is 243 South's newest addition, a rentable event space perfect for your next party, private gathering, or celebration. Plus, don't forget about 243 South's catering menu and delivery options. 243 South, come hungry and stay a while.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You're listening to Joey Clark. Joey Clark. Joey Clark. Joey Clark. You're listening to Joey Clark.
Oh, welcome back to the program. I'm Joey, Troy Carrico here in the studio.
I noticed that you did a little tip of the cap to Eddie with your intro song the other day.
Yeah.
Mr. Bader.
Yeah, Mr. Bader just writes itself, doesn't it?
No, it just depends on what we're talking about. But yeah, it does.
I mean, I could try to find one for us, but I got to figure out something. Guys, I don't think it should be a little jazzy jingle. I think it should be a little more rock.
I think we need a little bit, some. Well, you'd mentioned doing some sort of metal thing, but
we could probably figure something out.
I would like to see. I would like to see what you come up with when it comes to maybe a hard metallic
driving
feeling.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this thing that you discovered. Actually, a friend of yours saw firsthand.
Participated.
And I would just ask, let's go slowly, because when you told this to me, I'm like, what?
I know.
So let's set the scene here.
So about 3 weeks ago, I'm approached by a very active member of our veteran community. She is a licensed professional counselor. You want her on your team if you're out there fighting. She's a victim of sexual trauma from the military. I'll say that because that shaped her immensely. She's one of Admiral Davis's most trusted confidants in mental health and that part of it. She does the dirty work that other people aren't willing to do, and she cares. She has found herself on the outside of a lot of arguments with the Ivey administration, and she's being vindicated as we speak. But she came to me about 3 weeks ago, Joey, and she said, "You're not going to believe what just happened." She said, "I'm on a Zoom call, and I've got all this information and everything recorded. But what I heard and what transpired, it puzzles my mind. It puzzles my will." And so she started sharing it with me, and we started going in. I spoke to somebody else that was there. And then I go back to start doing more research, and they've deleted all the information off of their Zoom site. But we still have copies of things that are quite damning. So I thought about it, and Joey, it's not just in bad taste, it's criminal what they're talking about. So again, Alabama Department of Mental Health governs the Alabama Board of Licenses, which is the Board Examiners and Counseling, the ABEC. So they are up under Kim Boswell's group, and this is what transpired on July 17th, 2026. And I'm not even going to read a title. I'm going to go into it. On 17 July 2026, Alabama's licensed counselors sat through a state-sanctioned virtual ethics seminar hosted by the Alabama Board of Examiners and Counseling, ABEC. What they received was not ethics. It was a masterclass in moral perversion and inversion delivered under the official banner of the Alabama Department of Mental Health. The ringleader of this session was Mrs. Princess Johnson Higgins, LPC. According to multiple firsthand accounts from professionals who attended and later came to me distressed, she recommended that clients watch pornography to, quote, get comfortable with sex with your clients. Not with them, but what they may be going through. She admitted to watching it with other clients. She dispensed medical advice outside any counselor's scope of practice, in my opinion. When the conversation turned to material involving illegal matters, such as children or bestiality, an attendee used the plain, accurate term, kiddie porn. The response was a linguistic correction. "We don't like to use those words," Princess said. "We call it non-consensual underage entertainment. The difference being, pornography," she explains, "is two consenting adults, whereas entertainment could be anything but that." So keep that in mind. Let that phrase marinate, Joey, in your brain housing group. Entertainment. What part of that do you find entertaining, Princess? In a training paid for by continuing education requirements and paid by taxpayers and overseen by a board that was directly appointed by the governor, the preferred language for the sexual exploitation of children became a sanitized euphemism designed to reduce the moral weight of the treacherous act. Bestiality was also shamelessly presented as a possible element for treatment paths for clients as well. The presenter opined, "Yes, it is illegal, quote, but it is not our place to shame the client Rather, we must try to understand them without bias, end quote. Sadly, not one voice objected in that virtual room, filled with practicing counselors, several senior university faculty from their respective counseling and psychology programs, and the director of the board who was appointed by the governor. The uncertain nature of many of the attendees gave way to questions of ethical fortitude at the break and moral turpitude, and the social shaming seemed quite visceral and began quickly, as it was shared to me by multiple sources. It wasn't long before a couple self-identified, quote, Christian counselors spoke up and defended the information discussed and the malapro topics. More troubling, those wolves in sheep's clothing decried and condemned those who called the topic perverse and demonic. The Zoom archive of the full-day training was subsequently deleted within 48 hours of the following event of the event. Let me be clear and unambivalent that these divergent perversities is not a difference of therapeutic techniques. Rather, it is the institutional normalization of predation. The DSM-5, which governs current counseling standards, does not classify these patterns as lifestyle preferences. It clearly classifies them as disorders, precisely because they inflict measurable harm on the client and on silent victims. To strip away the language of harm and reframe the consumption of child sexual abuse material as something that must not produce shame is to invert the entire purpose of helping the profession and a heresy before God and his laws. I spent a career in perverse places amongst monstrous men and completely clandestine missions where the worst of human nature is not the exception, rather it is the rule. Combat tours, clandestine work for DIA, and the hard business of protecting people who cannot protect themselves teach a man that evil looks like what it looks like when it speaks in measured, academic, professional tones. Remember, evil doesn't always come, Joey, wearing a skull and carrying a skull and crossbones flag, dressed in black. Sometimes it arrives with a PowerPoint presentation, maybe an LPC credential card, and a lecture on non-judgmental framing and woke intellectual truisms that are cover for the molestation of our youth, innocence, and those patients who depend on your professional principles and personal protection. Alabama Board of Examiners and Counseling exists to protect the public through licensure and regulation. The Department of Mental Health oversees that. Both answer to the citizens of this state. When state-sponsored training instructs counselors that the proper response to a client's engagement with the sexual abuse of children, an illegal act, or animals, an illegal act, is understanding without shame, the protective function has been abandoned. When the record of what that training vanishes, the abandonment becomes deliberate. No one is calling for counselors to become moral inquisitors. The ethical obligations have always been clearer than that. Do not enable the destruction of the client or the further victimization of the powerless. Recommending illegal sexual material involving minors or bestiality as a therapeutic tool is not clinical sophistication. Sadly, it is a professional malpractice with criminal implications. Softening the language around it does not make the material less illegal or less damaging. Actually, it merely trains the next generation of practitioners to look away and to condone abominations before God. Alabamians should demand immediate answers. The Attorney General's office has a duty to examine whether state resources and taxpayer dollars were used in continuing education mandates that were used to disseminate advice that crosses into the facilitation of criminal conduct. Governor Ivey, who appoints the board, has a duty to determine whether those charged with protecting the public remain fit for that charge. ADMH Commissioner Boswell should answer to this breach of decorum and unlawful dalliances. Attendees who sat through that session and remained silent should ask themselves, what did that silence purchase? In closing, parents, veterans, pastors, and every citizen who still believes childhood is not a commodity for therapeutic experimentation must make their position unmistakable. The professional class does not get to redefine the boundaries of the unthinkable, attempt to normalize perversions, and then defeat the law. The archive may be gone, but that testimony of those who were there that I heard, the filth is never going to be removed. This is about whether the institution's charge with the care of the vulnerable will continue to operate under a clear moral line, or whether that line will be erased in the name of non-judgment practices and personal perverted platitudes. Alabama, the choice for me is obvious. Restore the line, remove those who would cross it, protect the people the board was created to protect. Anything less is condemning the filth, is condoning the filth.
Troy Carrico, folks.
It's terrible.
And, wow.
Joey,
it does leave with a lot more questions.
Bit my ears back, and come to find there was a lot of people that were disturbed, but they were afraid to speak out.
Okay. And it does sound like from what you're reporting, there were people in the moment who started to push back during a break.
There was a break, and the discussion kind of carried over, and someone got on and said, listen.
Well, and a question I would definitely have is this, because the sanitizing of language is bad enough, but is that just what's at issue here? Or like, was the one person talking about watching essentially different varieties of what they call entertainment as a clinical therapy? I hope that sounds bonkers.
No, that was exactly what the Princess was. She conducted a couple training sessions. She was the moderator of it, and the idea was we need to think outside the box and more like our clients to be able to gain bona fides with them, as it was explained to me from counselors. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a line there where you don't, it isn't your job as a psychiatrist to shame your client. As you said, you don't need like moral inquisitors necessarily, but it doesn't mean you have to be amoral.
Or illegal.
Especially if you want to understand something, you need a certain frame of reference. Anyway, that's quite, I'm glad whoever was there saved some of this so you have proof of it.
We do.
I'm glad that they spoke up. And it's such a
it's unbelievable.
Crazy thing that I would expect a response. And I would like to know the response.
Oh, I'm sure we'll hear from him on this.
Because I'll admit it's not my field, it's not my world.
It's not mine either. No.
And so but that's astounding. And in particular, what I think we're both sensitive about here is the sanitizing of language in order to normalize a certain behavior. You remember a few years back, and credit to many online influencers who started calling this out very early, the younger people and younger generations, where they started describing people as MAPs, minor attracted person.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I only know her handle, Shoe on Head, started calling it out like crazy. And it's that sort of stuff where you just have to call it out. You have to draw a clear line. It does not need to be legitimized. And you have to also not let fear overcome you that this is so awful, I just want to look the other way.
Right.
Because you better believe there are folks out there that would like to normalize certain things. And even if you push it back once or twice a generation, they'll still keep coming.
No, they do.
Anyway.
We'll see what happens.
Let's be blunt. You think it's crazy? What about the mutilation of children that's happened over the last decade or two?
I think I discussed that in one line. I said the exploitation of our youth
and what can be essentially done under the umbrella or under the cover of what is medicalized, pathologized. Like it's medical. It's a medical procedure.
It's moral.
Well, and that's, by the way, how abortion was sold. It's a medical procedure.
Of course it is. It's just a procedure.
It's women's health care.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you writing that up, and I truly appreciate, though the name remain anonymous for now, the person or persons that spoke with you and actually in the moment realize, what in the world am I listening to? And those are the folks I want to hear from because they're actually licensed and in that world a little more. But thank you for blowing the lid off this.
Well,
I think it's going to to start a big conversation.
I think it will too. And I think that if anybody's paying attention, Tommy Tuberville, this is right down. Look, that some of the people that were involved in this, I was told from my sources who she's very, very, very engaged. She said there's a few people that sit in these key positions on boards and stuff they don't truly have the best interest of the patient in mind. So
272-9228. 334-272-9228 if you want to react to that. We should probably just hit a break.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks. No $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
WAKA, Blue Water Broadcasting, Ty and Dal Incorporated, and Piggly Wiggly Food for Less invite you to help us stuff the truck on Saturday, August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sturbridge Piggly Wiggly Food for Less. Donate non-perishable food, classroom supplies, or cash to help local students facing food insecurity and support our teachers. Visit WAKA.com for a shopping list and stop by our community resource fair for valuable services and information for River Region families. Together, we can stuff the truck and strengthen our community.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a man from outer space.
What's up, Earthling?
I see you've landed your spacecraft over there in that field.
That's right, man.
My question is, why have you landed here on our planet?
I came to see David Ernest.
The asset preservationist?
Yeah, man. I wanted to see if he would take a look at my portfolio for me.
Well, before you make the trip over there, call him on his toll-free number, 833-596-7233.
And I understand those last 4 digits spell out the word safe.
That is correct.
Funny thing happened the last time I came to Earth.
What was that?
I went to the Walmart, man.
Yes?
And I accidentally went in the back door.
How did that work out?
Well, they stopped me and very gently told me that I needed to go around front and come in.
And then what did you do?
I said, cool, man. Take me to your greeter.
You flew millions of miles just for that.
Hey, man, I don't ride them. I just read them.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The frontal system that has brought storms to the state today and into the evening hours tonight will also deliver some better news for the weekend. Gradually behind this front, the humidity will start to get better. As the weekend goes on, you'll really feel a difference, even though the high temperatures will still be in the middle 90s. And we will subtract rain from the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. It'll be a step in the right direction. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Not only is Troy Carrico here, so we don't have his camera on, Pamela is also here. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm all right. How you two?
I'm good.
You're
I think
good?
you know what I think it is. The power's off. On there it goes. It just came on.
Okay.
I'm doing great now that
This one's off too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it kicked y'all out of that. You
I
need
see
to
it.
add yourself in, and when you join in,
I know
mute
how to
it.
do it.
I think Pamela knows how to
She's
do
got
it.
it. I'm sure.
But you know how there are a lot of, I'm sure you know this, Troy,
What's that?
Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan?
Oh, there are?
Yeah, just a few.
Okay. What's going on up there?
There is a Christian pastor. I don't know if you saw this, that went to a city council meeting, and he let them have it. And it's quite a speech, went viral.
Okay.
All sorts of folks carrying it. I think he even hit up on Fox. And he brings in a race element to it as well. And see, both Troy and Pamela here. Yes,
Pam,
thank you.
see, you need to be coming in more often.
But
I know.
When?
I miss
Right,
being
when?
here.
So what is this the guy? Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It may be different though.
This guy's named Pastor Sewell. And Pastor Sewell just goes, it's only a minute rant.
Okay.
But it's quite a rant. Let's listen in.
Okay, let's hear it.
Only 1% of this nation. We are not a nation of Muslims. We are a nation of Christians. We are one nation under God, indivisible, the God of the Bible, the God of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the God in whom we serve. I want you to prove to me we're not up under Sharia law. Will you denounce Councilman O'Reilly? Will you denounce Sharia law?
He's pointing as he's asking.
I know he is.
Will you denounce Sharia law? Will you denounce? I know you won't. Will you denounce Sharia law? To Hillsdale. Will you renounce Sharia law?
Hillsdale, yeah.
Will you renounce Sharia law? America, we have lost this city. This is a city that is no longer up under American laws. We are up under Sharia law, and we will not have it anymore. Enough is enough.
Hey,
I know you won't.
Hey, brother.
just let
like
that
this guy, man.
Anyway, that's what's going on in Dearborn.
You know, let me ask you something, Joey. Do you
Yeah.
think if an elected official refuses to swear on the Bible, that should disqualify them from office? I do.
No, because isn't it in the Constitution you can't have religious litmus test? I don't think it should.
We always
I'll
do
put it to you
on
this
Bible.
way: that should be up to the people who vote.
Maybe we need to do a referendum.
Because, I think there is. I don't know the chapter and verse. I ain't no constitutional lawyer, but I believe there is, for good reason, we don't have built into law true litmus test. Now, the old state constitutions before the incorporation after the Civil War, they did have requirements that you profess belief in God.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes profess belief in a particular tradition of Christianity. Yeah, but then you could not serve in office and be an atheist, so to
Right.
speak.
Well, and I think the thing that I'm talking about is with Islam, we know that they do not follow the same norms or customs and or principles we do, and that put them in that litmus test. Well, I'd even go further. You can't hold office here if you are of a insurgency, and that's
if you want to do that, I would
insurgency.
say you have to amend the Constitution.
Yeah, we'd have to. We'd have to have a vote.
So one way or the other, there's a vote aspect to this, but I think a voter has every right to say if somebody doesn't swear in on the Bible, I'm not voting for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the voter has every right to say that and make that decision that way. I still think the Islam thing is mostly at this point an immigration problem, and don't let mass more people in here like
Right.
that. Because as he said, you're 1% of the population. And we can be a tolerant people to a degree. Now, if you're in Dearborn, it becomes a different question. If you're in a particular local community, you get into the politics of your local community. That does become but I don't live in Dearborn. So to speak.
One of the tactics that they use when they do try to move into an area is demographic warfare, and that's what they're doing. They concentrate themselves in an area, gain control there, and then try to move out. Now you see that with Al-Saya in Michigan Senate race and all this, and it's just, to me, I don't even know why we're having this conversation. This is as clear to me like it is to Tommy Tuberville. Destroy the mosque, destroy the cultural centers, which are hotbeds of insurgency, where weapons training and all sorts of nefarious activity go on.
Mm-hmm.
Be done with it. Stop lying about it. Get rid of it. Take up the sword now. It's the only language they speak.
I don't think I'd go that far, but
I know you wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go that far.
We're a little
I know
extreme.
you would. Maybe I'm a little over the top. No, I'm not. I'm right where you need to be after. Listen, Joey, I spent so much time with them.
It's not
They
like
do
nothing
not.
has led up to your opinion. That it's experience, it's awareness, it's familiarization, it's firsthand contact.
It's breaking bread with them and
I
understanding
mean,
that.
yeah.
Hey, when they tell you a sin in private is half forgiven, that tells you all you need to know about the foundations of religion. Like the guy that was sleeping with that girl. He's married. I said, how can this be, brother? He goes, no, I'm not cheating. I hire an imam. He marries us for the night. Then, under law, she can take all the gold she wishes to carry, and that will be our divorce. And I didn't have any outside of the relationship. It was another wife. I go, wow. Unfortunately, that girl was about 15 years old, too.
Wow.
Sickening.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that Sharia law is really awful. The Constitution should rule, including the Bill of Rights.
Good.
And I would say my main problem with Islam is it's false, and it leads to poor behavior, like you just laid out, and I'm being mild. But I think the main job right now is to make the case of its falsity and to then try to convert people.
The time in Afghanistan when I had to go to the tea houses with the little boys dressed up, I
Yeah.
can tell you there was many a day, many a night when I wanted to go out back and put somebody down. It was disgusting, sickening. Sorry, it just
I
it
hear
stays
where you're
with you.
coming
It
from,
stays
man.
with you, and you realize the depravity of man, and you
Yes.
look and say it's okay, it's accepted in this culture. That's not our culture. That is not compatible with anything we are, and
Right.
it is not here to peacefully coexist. End of story.
Yeah, but are there not? And I'm sure you met some folks who are Muslim because they were born that way. And
Yes.
they could probably be convinced not to be.
Mohammed Newman was my partner at DIA. He was a son of a captured Egyptian officer who was an engineering officer that helped breach the Red Sea during the '67 blitz into Israel. He was raised in a very, very not a very hardcore Islamic family, but they did go to mosque. He's the one who told me the day of 9/11. His dad said, come join us at the mosque. They were having a celebration, feast, dancing and cheering. And he said, Troy, I looked at that and I said, Dad, what's going on? He goes, they're happy. They're happy for this. He goes, I serve in the military. He said that's when he converted to Christianity, actually Catholicism. His wife was from Belgium. And I could just tell you that I know firsthand what this is all about. And as much as it may sound repugnant to you, Joey, as much as it may sound offensive to some, ass-kicking violence is the only solution for this.
I love how you know I'm like right on your level.
I know you served.
The sword is is right back here. I'm ready.
That's all that's the only dialect they respect when you speak it to them. They don't respect a handshake. Inshallah, brother.
No.
Inshallah.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't find it repugnant. Wouldn't be the word, because I understand where you're coming from. But I also think it would be it's very unwise to jettison things like our individual rights in this country. Very unwise.
You're that I concur with, but I also believe that existential threats should be dealt with extreme force.
272-922. Then who becomes the next existential threat if a government has that power to do that to an entire group?
Well, I can tell you this, that if you're worried about the government then putting us in an even more dystopian environment, you better worry about the Arab first, because he will cut your throat. I promise you that. It's a 50-meter target, Joey. It's like you got a 50-meter target, you got a 75-meter target, you got 100. That 50-meter
Right.
target's the one that poses the most threat to you right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I do respect your wanting, Joey, I pray for peace every day, but I prepare for war.
So the government should go and just destroy things and kick people out.
Yeah, when it comes to, listen, there is such a, and I know this for a fact, there's a body of evidence that we have collected on the coalition that is being built in the United States. Right now, there is plenty of Iranian influence here, Shia influence here. I'm telling you now, Joey, that up there in Dearborn, they're not trying to just stay where they're at. They're trying to consolidate power up there. And, you know I don't like Michigan anyhow. I'm an Ohio State guy.
Well, if that's the case, that should be definitely something the FBI is stopping.
Well, yeah, but they're not, and that's the problem.
Well,
Well,
fair
they're
enough.
part of the problem.
Well, the intelligence community, here's the deal. I'll say to you this
If
way.
you're talking about a foreign nexus,
There is.
that's
Oh,
a
there.
very different
Listen, it's.
thing.
I sure. I know for a fact there is, because I worked, and I'm not going to discuss the missions, but I did work in conjunction with several agency, CIA agency, human intelligence projects that were Palantir driven, that showed some stuff that would curl your toes. So.
Yeah. Well, we need to defend the nation, but we also need to understand, human beings and not destroy human dignity in the process, and empower a government that can do that.
Well,
over the top way. Now, if you're talking about an exact investigation into folks that are plotting against the United States, like you can actually prove this, you actually want to put laws to it, yeah. And again, as I told you, I hear where you're coming from. But again, I think we should be very careful how much we empower our government to do something like that.
I agree. Let me ask you
and
this.
it would be it would be a violation of our own values.
So let me ask you this, though. This is something that bugs me a great deal when I think about it, and I wonder how you feel about it. When you consider it at face value, and you notice that you said not all Arabs are that way, not all Muslims are that way, well, guess what? That's the problem we have. They've allowed their religion to be overtaken by an ideological militant faction that they refuse to deal with, and even worse, celebrate their, quote, victories that they have. That tells me all I need to know. So here's the deal. It's sort of like the guy I told you. There's two types of crazy in the world. One guy gets drunk, takes his clothes off, howls at the moon in his yard. Another one, he does it in your yard.
Right.
You're forced to deal with it. And that's where, whenever I have an argument with Islam, because you failed to police your factions, I'm forced to do it for you.
Right.
And you won't like the results. That's the fee.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's us?
Good afternoon, Joey. This is Marianne from Gilligan's Island.
Hey, Marianne. How are you?
I'm good. I don't have Busy Izzy today. And I'm calling because I got I told you Sunday when I saw you about your bumper music, that when you came back at the bottom of the hour break, that song, I love it. It is awesome.
I appreciate that.
Now, now I'm going to change the subject on all of you, and I'm sorry about this, Mr. Troy, because you were really good. Joey, Monday, you were talking about women and tattoos.
Yeah.
And you don't like it.
Uh-oh.
I did not say that.
Pamela.
Called
It's
out.
a good thing.
You're tasteful.
It's
Called
a good
out.
thing I didn't show you my second tattoo I just got in July.
Whoa. She showed
First
you
one I got
one.
in 2010.
You already showed him one, though, right?
I believe I said
No,
that. Actually, I
no.
find some quite attractive. But I don't know. Like, I would say also that I think people are getting a little too crazy with the tattoos.
People
like,
are.
Thank
People
you.
are getting their knuckles
Some of them are very, very. It
tattooed.
looks like
Right.
bad, you know. But yours is good.
I don't know.
I got
and
my
so
knuckles tattooed yesterday.
I guess it would have. I would have to judge it on the tattoo in the woman, so to speak.
Mine
Maybe.
are not tasteful. They are.
I think you look great.
I love them.
For someone from Vermont, I would
love
expect
them.
you to look like that.
Well,
Joey,
you know,
I love you. I love you. You
they
know that.
are old hippies. They do what they want.
You
the,
look good.
The
Well,
traditional
gee, thanks,
Vermonters.
Pamela. I appreciate the old hippie remark. Cause I'm old,
No,
and
I
I'm a
love
child
that. Old hippies are my people.
Bikers and old hippies.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yes.
I have ridden on a Harley,
See?
and I know a friend of mine who calls her 3 Harleys her ex-husbands.
That's funny.
Good people, man. That's who you need to hang out with.
Well, you don't see them in front of a psychiatrist's office, you know.
No, you don't.
That's okay. Then. That's what I want.
Now, Joey, you're going to have to change your mind because the next time I see you, you can see this tattoo. It's on my arm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right? And I hope you think it's tasteful because it's the
yeah.
compass.
I would have to judge it based
I
on
have
the
a
tattoo.
compass too.
Okay?
If you don't have a compass, you're lost.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, mine
I'm just
says
saying, if you
doesn't-
had, like, say, a Baphomet on your back, I think that's crazy. There's something
No.
kind of.
I don't think I have that.
Yeah, let's hope. I hope not, Pamela.
No, I thought it was Asmodeus. I'm sorry.
Joey, another thing I wanted to talk to you about is one of your sponsors because I love them too. That's Still in Rings.
Yes.
Is that Josh and Leslie?
Oh, Dylan Rings. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
yeah. I've had some major events in my life, retiring and turning an older year of age and what have you. So I went and I ordered a bracelet at the end of March from them. And I paid out some money, but it's pretty.
I love it.
Very nice.
I love it. I know you love it
And
too.
I do too. It's my favorite. It's Jelly Gold. Leslie, we had to order it, you know, when she showed it to me. We ordered it. I paid and everything. But I am just so proud of it, and I love it, Joey. So I do thank them for being your sponsor because I really enjoy doing business with them.
Well, and I thank you for saying that publicly.
Okay. Well, listen, I love you guys. Have a good afternoon. Please stay cool and healthy.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thanks, Marianne.
Great seeing you.
That's awesome.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hello again, Joey.
Hey, Paul.
Troy, how you going to get it across to them? These people are not coming in peace.
No.
All you got to do is look where they congregate. Everywhere there's a blue city, and like you said, then they populate it, then they go for power.
Yep,
So
they do.
sooner or later, they are going to take up arms against us.
They make it very
But
clear.
then they're going.
Yeah, they make it clear that
They make it very clear. But then what they're going to do is they're going to try to make it turn around and make it look like it was a bunch of citizens that was harassing them, and they felt like they had to protect themselves.
they're outnumbered pretty heavily if we ever decide we want to do something. And the other guy, what's his name, Piker, the Piker guy, part of the Young Turks group. But I'd put him down for. He'd take a dirt nap. I don't like. Listen, when you're talking about raping women and killing children, I mean, freedom of speech, Joey. I get it, but no, man, not that kind of stuff.
But in their minds, that's okay.
Well, under Sharia law, the man can do whatever he wants.
Yep. And I'm going to make a quick change right there. Joey, do you know whether or not that Dylan Rings, if they carry the copper bracelets or not?
The copper bracelets?
Copper bracelets?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's worth calling them up and checking it out.
Well, I thought maybe you talk about them so much. And
I don't know. I don't have their whole inventory memorized.
He doesn't have arthritis yet.
But I can give you their number if you want to call them up.
That's what it's for.
I'm driving. I can't ride. What are you talking about, Sonny?
Well,
what are you talking about,
just
Sandy?
search Dylan Rings on Google. You'll find it immediately.
All right. Didn't have time to a while ago, but y'all have a blessed weekend. I finally almost make it home.
All right.
I'm back to the FM.
I appreciate you, man. Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys. This is Ryan. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
Good. Hey, I just wanted to start out and say thank you guys so much for the conversation you're having about this topic in general. You know, I feel like, you know, the quote that the one thing that's necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And that a lot of times that's all predicated on the fact that we never start because we never have a conversation because it's difficult. Like the minutia of this it's not easy. And so a lot of people avoid getting into it because they can't have it with a civil level of discourse. And so I really appreciate the fact that you both have such a obvious level of respect for one another's position that it allows you to facilitate having this conversation. Because I think it's really important that people are informed on, you know, the stuff that Troy understands, and that people are considering the broader human elements from the perspective that Joey's coming from. And I see this kind of a lot in the same way as what's going on right now with the WNBA and the 3 guys who have come out and declared for the draft next year that they're putting pressure on the fact that there's loose definition in the system, and they're forcing a conversation to be had. But that, you know, that the Sharia law and this whole thing is exploiting some areas of the civility of the American system that we need to have a conversation about to realize how those things now contextually fit into the more modern world that we're in, and that we don't strip ourselves of the rights that we have in any way, but that we mature those concepts to reflect our sort of current status.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say that like the whole what certain states have done and what in particular Tuberville was talking about, if you actually look at the law that he proposed of banning Sharia, it was essentially saying that the Constitution would always take precedent. And then if you add the element of you literally have foreign cells and networks operating in places under the cover of religious freedom, of course there's a tension there, and that is why you have things like federal law enforcement and are they doing their job? That's a whole other question, practically doing it. I just worry about, well, you summarized the divide on those, Troy and I's divide on this pretty well. And, you know, I can be pretty creative in my thinking. I could defend the First Amendment to the hilt and see that Troy's fire that he's spitting right now and people letting off that sort of steam is actually useful as well. Everybody kind of knowing where they fit. Anyway, I appreciate it. Appreciate the call, dude.
Yeah, I want to say that I respect exactly where you're coming from, Joe. You are a counterbalance to my passion is that I want to see our children, our grandchildren, have a republic that's worthy. And one of the problems we have with modus operandi or the techniques that they use is they use our system and then they kind of skirt inside of it and then establish their own system. So even if Tommy does outlaw it, Joey, who's going to enforce it? How's it going to be enforced?
Oh, yeah. No, well, there's already states that have done it. And in fact, we passed an amendment already in Alabama to do it.
Then good. Then
we did that a few years ago. And where essentially, you saw what El Sayed complaining about it, saying it's so racist that Oklahoma said Sharia can't be used in the courts. And there's actually a federal court struck down that law because they explicitly called out Sharia. So the state of Florida, the state of Texas, Alabama, and an amendment said no foreign, say, jurisprudence can be used in American courts. It can, and then you get to the question of enforcement and policing. So if you start having de facto no-go zones like places in France, probably places in the UK, that's another huge issue. Like the UK rape gang cases are insane.
They need to go in.
And it shows, I think, a lot of different problems in those societies. I see the issue. I just constantly come back to, like, your friend did convert, number one. And then number two, we better not throw out the things that protect our butts, because we could be considered enemy number one by, say, other forces in this country. And if people are looking for a fight, people are looking for a fight. I just don't think, you know my position.
No, I know that.
I think that's the way to chaos.
And I think that you're right. And I think that one of the burning questions, though, and I mean this when I talk about this from a veteran's perspective, and you're a veteran, a lot of people I coalesce with online and people that I know, the question keeps coming up: when is the bullet trump the ballot?
Yeah.
And that's a rough question, but it's real, Joey. I know you don't like it, but I'm telling you, it's very much a real conversation that people get fed up, particularly with I think, like, for instance, the data centers. That's going to be It's going to be defining whether it's accurate, whether it's properly being narrated and discussed. It's going to be a decisive factor in elections.
I don't know. When I hear that, the reason I don't like it is I think of Charlie Kirk.
But see, there's my point. Is
I think of that day.
That's exactly right. And they chose the bullet, and instead of the Bible, actually. But they're Mormons, so I would expect them to do that. But I'm asking you, consider this fact that we have a choice, and it's going to be, as conventional Christians of today, are we just supposed to get along with everyone and be okay with this, and do that? Or do we stand up for what we believe? I mean, as Christians, we are constantly. We should always do that, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, we got to hit a break. First, though, if you really want to be violent,
I don't. I try to keep this.
You're capable of it, but you don't want to do it.
I mean, I'm capable of breaking something, but I definitely don't want to do that.
How do you feel about mosquitoes?
Oh man, listen, fire ants and mosquitoes. May they all burn. Wasps. No. How do you feel about wasps?
Yeah, let them all burn. Yeah,
let them burn.
Yeah, the wasps, the mosquitoes, the fire ants, the termites. My God! Or what if, like, a squirrel tries to make a home out of your home?
We'll call Pest Pro Services, man. That's what you do.
Pest Pro Services, folks, and at Pest Pro Ashley and that great team, they are ready to help you out across the board. Just get signed up for their basic package. They can come out on a regular basis. It's a monthly subscription model, so you control costs throughout the year. Yep. And if you want to add things like mosquito control and wildlife control, or you have a particular problem with fire ants, they can take care of all that stuff. It's just building that relationship with them. Call them up, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Troy and Pamela and the whole team, the whole radio station, sent you Pest Pro Services. When you want to know, call a pro.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Independent Glass has been your one-stop shop for all things glass since 1978. They offer a full range of architectural products, and they're armed with the knowledge and expertise to get even the most demanding job done, big or small. Attention to detail, 24-hour replacement services, and their uncompromising commitment to excellence is why Montgomery's first choice for all things glass is Independent Glass. Call them today at 263-2823 and learn more about what they can do for you at independentglassco.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This goes out to Mary Ann. go right to the phone and talk to Ray Bowles with Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Where are we going?
Yeah.
Where the wind
I don't
blows.
want to say I want to go until I know where we're going. They might be talking like go to Hades or something.
No. Like Hades. To the heart of hearts, so to speak. To your interior castle, to the where God hooks up to you in your soul, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, if y'all have young kids or even teenage kids, and they make you listen to music you don't want to listen to, the best thing I'd learned in life was this hilarious. Start repeating the lyrics to them, but like speak it back to them. It gets really awkward really quick. They're like, Dad. I'm like, well, you're the one listening to it. Have you not? This is what they're saying, Dad. And then all of a sudden you're listening to like soft rock.
That's funny.
Yeah, try it. It's a great prank to do too, because it's like, well, I really don't want you listening to words like this. So let me repeat them back to you, and then all of a sudden they realize what they're saying, and they want to change the channel quickly. Yeah, I'm such a funny daddy.
I love it. That's a good strategy.
It's a great strategy, especially if you don't want to listen to that type of music, because I'm not a music person. I'm a talk radio guy. If my radio's on, it's going to be y'all. That's about the only thing Yeah, no, I don't like hip-hop either, so David's getting after me.
We've been listening to a lot of Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah. Have y'all seen the Michael
kids
Jackson
love it.
thing?
That's cool.
I've not watched it yet.
I've not
I
seen
don't think I will. Mm-mm. Yeah, but I am in a really good mood. Emma went home with Abby today.
Oh, finally.
So finally. Salem goes back to college last week, right? And Emma shows up for a week. I'm like, after 3 months, I'm ready for an empty nester. But, I'm so happy. I can't wait to get home. I might get off radio and just go home now.
I wouldn't blame you at all.
Because you can, actually. No, I was just letting the quiet sit there for a second. It's nice.
Anybody that tells you when their kid goes to college and they act like they're sad, they're lying to you. It's the best thing ever when you load them in the car and wave by. And they head down the road again. For both of us. For all of us. We're all happy. But if the only thing makes you happy, that's a brand new floor. And if you call Private Carpet, 285-8117, we'll come out and give you that free measurement. And we are open tomorrow 9 to 1.
And again, that's 285-8117. Be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with that Joey Clark fella.
Guys, y'all have a great weekend.
You too.
You too.
I guess Greg is here. Hey, Greg.
Hey, do we have luring centers here?
Leering centers? Or
Luring
centers?
Luring centers, like they have in Minnesota.
Or I thought it was leering centers. Because luring centers sound more like
I know how to leer. I need a learning center.
Yeah, are people staring in an awful, lecherous way? Or
Well, I may have found one of those luring centers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Eastern Boulevard.
Really?
Imagine it there.
Yeah, when the bra fits. Oh, man.
The bra fit.
Oh, sorry, when the shoe fits. Anyway, did we learn anything today?
Yeah, don't ever play leapfrog with a unicorn.
That's a good piece of advice.
Well, just be careful.
Pamela, did you learn anything in their 30 minutes hanging out with us?
I always do.
We're so glad you're here. So I woke up today. I said, I bet she's great.
Pamela!
I love that.
It's been so long.
Oh, my God.
Well,
Joey, what did
I think
you learn
I learned
today? What
don't
did you
drive in a car without AC.
Oh, my God.
What would you, God bless you.
And by the way, I didn't say I hated women with tattoos. I said it depends on the tattoo. In fact, I find some quite attractive.
I don't really care what anybody thinks about them. That's why I have so many.
Yeah, but I care what other people think. But it's my insecurity.
Whatever.
Let me.
Don't be insecure. Just don't.
Joey.
Nobody has time
It's
for
okay,
that.
Joey.
Yeah, what if I'm confident about being insecure?
I don't have any insecurities. So what people say to me or what they say about things about me,
Pam, you let it roll right off your back like a duck in water, dude. I love that's what I love about you.
I don't
It's like,
care.
whatever.
And it doesn't change my opinion of you whatsoever. So
Because it's already so artificially low.
no.
For me. I'm joking.
No, but everybody's free to have their own opinion.
Absolutely.
So whatever.
God bless America. Happy hours next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1